Are we ready, Gordon? You're playing around with your phone there? We're off and running. Yes, okay, and welcome to this fortnightly live stream that we love bringing to you, but we couldn't bring it to you with a great help of the following people, and I will always try and catch him out. Let's bring them up on the screen. We've got the following wonderful people to help us. We've got BG Lasico. Okay, there's some great news on. We'll talk about their news as well today. We've got the wonderful people at Doncaster Cables, and thank you very much for the last time out when Aaron stood in instead of me and finally got himself off the bottom of the leaderboard. But will somebody replace our lovely Mark at the bottom this week?
Above Mark, but we don't use above Mark because he's such a lovely bloke.
Mark's such a lovely bloke. So leave Mark alone, all right? Leave my mate Mark alone. I'd like to thank the great people at Wago, and I can never remember the last one, Gordon. Who is it?
Well, you've got it down as Nipex.
No, Nipex is on the asset you gave me.
Yeah, that's actually Marshall Tufflex.
Yes, it is, because you haven't got that one in there. Yeah. Okay, we've had a little bit of stress our end.
That's Gary's technical thing. Last week it was in, you'll notice.
Yes, it was. It's on a different iPad. And we've been quite stressed this evening. I would have suggested we didn't need the Indian cuisine. However, it does mean my good friend Nick Ramo, who's already put in the comments, we're looking out for Gary's first glitch. Obviously, the first glitch being I've got a slightly odd asset there. But thank you very much to the people at Marshall Tufflex as well. And they've been following us on the eFIXX College Connections. And we will be mentioning those eFIXX College Connections as well this evening. There's tons to do tonight. So please try and stay on for as long as you possibly can and interact in the comments. And that's where we normally start, don't we? I want to do Gary's swap shot while you're still faffing around with your phone. So I've got to bring in Nick Ramo again. Let's see if he don't fluff his lines. Here he goes. Let's bring Nick in and see what tonight's keyword is for Gary's swap shot.
That's a full Ramo.
Okay, so thank you to Nick Ramo's dad, and obviously Nick towers above his old man. You know, he leans over the guy. Yeah, I think his dad's about 4'2", so of course Nick gives it the big one. But we're going to go with the full Ramo. You notice he was on a chair there. But in order to play along with Gary's swap shop, we need to bring on my super logo. So Gary's swap shop is not necessarily the prize is given to you for just entering, and you enter by putting obviously the full Ramo in.
The full Ramo.
Do you think we'll have a full Ramo this evening?
Well, you've even got a spell check in there as
yes,
well.
Because, just to help people out. Yeah, I did put his name in because I didn't want to, how do I spell that, how do I spell that? So Gary's swap shop, it works like the following. If you've pulled out at the end of the show, and of course you have to stay on the end to find out if you are a winner, you'll need to send me something, okay? So I want something from you if obviously you win, and only when I receive your prize will I send you out my prize. And what I'm going to do this week is I'm going to let Gordon decide what you have to send me.
Ooh, well, let's have a think. I'm going to make it quite tricky. What are you giving away?
I'm giving away a thermos flask. I'm giving away the lovely
what
stripper.
Yeah. Tricky one.
Tricky one.
Yeah. An old ELECTRICIANS fuse.
An old
rewirable.
Rewirable fuse. Not a cartridge, you want a rewirable?
Well, it can be either.
Okay, cartridge or rewirable.
Or one of those old MCUs. An old ELECTRICIANS, something from the past.
Okay, so something that reminds Gordon of when he was 40 and on site. So we're talking BS303, get my teeth back in, 3036 semi-enclosed rewirable fuses, or a cartridge fuse, and often they were related to ELECTRICIANS, weren't they? But you might find a really old fuse. So I just need an old fuse. Yeah. Again, just keep it real if you win. However, two people pulled at the end. If you do send it here to Lineside Studios, how do I find the address?
In the Get Involved below. If you've won a prize, fill it in there, and you can have this little bundle there.
Yeah, so
got the talk stickers.
Ooh, that's still going. We've got a wonderful thing coming out on that. We've got an eddy current hat. We've got the wonderful EV blocks. We released a video at the weekend on EV blocks. Trevor. Okay, Big T. Let's get Big T. We had an evening out with Big T, and we know why they call him Big T now. And we've got these, which we absolutely love, and we reviewed a version of this, and Doncaster have badged their own up for EV Ultra cable. And you looked at that last week, and I've stolen it for this week as two of Gary's swap shops.
Because we've got a few more of them still, yeah. Aaron left a right bundle.
He did, thank you, Aaron. He did a great job last time out. So I'm under pressure this time. You notice maybe, hopefully this time we had the sound at the start. Didn't have it last time, which was hilarious. When you sit at home, you already think, I've already kicked off, you've already made a mistake, and then you made a mistake with the old tool from above. But we won't mention that because no doubt I will make a plethora of mistakes as we go along. So if you want to play along, hopefully you're putting in the full Ramo.
There's flooding in.
Okay,
There's
good.
Plenty of full Ramos.
Full Ramos. We love a full Ramo. And his dad was lovely, by the way. And his dad's name is Luigi. And I didn't want to say, when I got there, it was called Luigi Motors. And I thought, I don't want to lean into this one. So I said, do you mind me asking what your name is? Luigi. It is. It's Luigi. Okay, so I didn't want to do that. So brilliant. And we had some great fun with Nick today as well. And Joe gave him a bit of advice on his YouTube channel as well, and that was a wonderful thing to watch as well. So that's why we were a little bit late running in.
So plenty of full Ramos coming in. So other Joe's up in the...
yeah, we've got Joe and Joe. Let's have a look at Joe cams. There's our Joe cam. Look, give us a wave, boys. Yes, there they are. Joe 1 and Joe 2, a couple of Joeys, we like to call them. Yep.
Joe's in the house.
Joe's in the house.
He is literally
in the house. Yes, he is. So again, at the end of the show, we'll draw out 2 names, and if you send me an old thing, and that doesn't mean you pack up your old version of Gordon at home and send them through the post, how do we find that post again?
In the Get Involved tag below, and if you win something, just fill it in there. If you want to send us anything, questions, really difficult questions for Joe.
Yep.
He's running a bit short. He needs a few questions to think about.
And am I right in believing that if you fill in the Get Involved tab, you could actually pick the college connections as one of those as well, can't you?
It's all in there, yeah.
Yeah, it's all in there.
If you've got something coming up on site. You've been out on site this week?
I have, yeah. We're going to come to as well. So it's action-packed this week. Lots of stuff going on. Fantastic Electricians Challenge as well. Racewall, we've got a regulation corner. And regulation's where I want to take it, Gordon. Because I think on Monday something massive is happening. What's happening on Monday, Gordon?
I think I'm getting hints that there's a new edition of BS7671 coming out.
Oh, that's not what I was thinking.
Yeah.
No, I'm going to Leeds College of Building on Monday. You're telling me the reg's changing on the same day?
Yeah.
Wow, when did that sneak up on us?
Well, it's been coming out. People have been asking for opinion, which is probably ignored. And yeah.
So you're telling me the big blue book's changing colour to the big brown book?
Brown, not the best colour, is it?
It's awful. I mean, it's the worst colour ever. It becomes a little bit depressing to look at, doesn't it? And again, you know, I skipped straight to the back of the blue book to see how the story ended. And again, not that riveting. So if they don't improve that in the brown book, we're in a world of trouble. So with that in mind, in the comments again, and we're going to bring this up again when we get to the plug and socket after the show, which is like our after party. Eventually it will be on the area where Joe's sitting having a cup of tea. So give us another wave, Joe's.
You've got some wide cam.
Yeah, look at that. Oh, should we do wide cam?
Yeah.
So we've got a little bigger view, so we've got wide cam as well.
They're up in the house.
Yeah, look at that. So that's actually going to be the break area. We can't call it a bar anymore. Why can't we call it a bar anymore?
I don't know. I thought we could call it a bar.
What do they normally serve in bars?
Beer.
Yes, and why is that not appropriate?
There'll be beers in there, guys.
There won't be.
There will, of course.
No,
there
we don't want it.
Yeah.
11 weeks dry, aren't we? 11 weeks.
Yeah.
Leave that comment below. 11
Yes.
weeks without touching a drop.
Yeah.
So fantastic. So I think it'll be a soft area.
It's hours, great hours of fun on the night out there. Tell you how much he hasn't drunk.
Yeah, and amazing how many times.
Designated driver.
Yes, yeah, thank you
Got
very
some
much.
visitors coming up next week, so you can be the designated driver.
I can, yeah,
Yeah.
not a problem. If 2 people can get in the van, that'd be great, because it's only a 3-seater, so I don't mind. So let's have your opinion. So we want to know what you're thinking of, obviously changing the regulations. What would you like to see in there, and what do you expect to see in there? So do you expect to see AFDDs being the obvious one? Every circuit in a domestic dwelling must be protected by an AFDD. What do you expect to be the new part 8? Go on, tell us the part 8.
Prosumer installations.
Okay, what do we mean by prosumer?
That's someone who also generates and consumes electricity.
Okay.
Which, if I'm going on the news today,
Oh, yeah,
we'll
go.
just check on the news today. Obviously, they've just reduced the VAT on solar panels and other energy-saving technologies, including loft insulation, from 5% down to 0.
Okay.
So that means
Small but good.
if you've just installed one this week, you can put your price up 5%.
Okay, yeah, well, we know that's what's going to happen, don't we? Yeah, so, of course, it's like they've taken 5p off, I think, duty on fuel, but I might have got that wrong, so don't rush out on my behalf. But, again, what's likely to get swallowed up then? We never see it, we're at the sharp end.
No.
Okay, so what sort of things do we think people would like to see in BS7671's Amendment 2? What are they predicting?
While I think that they're coming in, I think we're going to have to do the register because there's a lot of people on.
Okay, so we'll come back to the BS7671.
A lot of
Crack on with the register, young man.
We've got 220 people on.
Okay,
So from the
right.
top, S-Spark 1, Pegasus Electrical and
I've
Control.
seen him for ages. Give me a ring soon, Eddie.
He's branched out there. He just used to be Pegasus Electrical. He's now and Control.
Oh, and Control.
Which means he's put his prices
Prices
up
up,
5%.
yeah.
We've got sockets, the ever-present Richard Brook. Got some. Actually, Gary, is that table wobbling down there?
Oh, it's awful. Hang
Yeah,
on,
just-
take that.
just,
Just hang on. Let's. You look at this. It's all over the show. I'll tell you what it needs. If I can just wedge a few splates in there. Look at that. Rock solid. Rock solid. Now, thank you very much. Got a few splates in there. Love it. Can't beat a splate, really, can you? Fantastic.
You had a different photograph.
Did I?
There. Yeah, you had a picture of an EV charger.
Did I?
Yeah.
What happened there? Don't know. Okay,
Yeah.
Nick, you've got your first mistake.
Anyway,
Go on, you did the register.
let's play Billy Torrey, Carl Robinson, Nick Ramo. He's already been on. We've already seen him. The UK Spark, A Spark 1, Big Ash Electric, Princess Sparks, Sean the Sparky, Big Ash Electrics. Have I done that? Aaron. Oh, is that above Aaron? We assume it is that tool guy, aka Torchy for people.
met.
Richard Bushnell, not the Richard Bushnell from Osram, it's a different. Gabor Cousson. I think I've said that right. Check with Joe. He normally gets these things right.
Yeah, he does.
Sean the Spark, Ben Everson, haven't seen Ben for a while. Running Ben, the Running Ben, Terry Moore, Gifford's Millionaire, Secret Millionaire, Gifford's Electrical,
Gifford's Millionaire Electrical,
Mark the Sparky Alison, JLC Electrical, R. Davis Electrical,
Yay!
Someone from Turkey, can't pronounce that name.
Okay, thank you, though.
Roman Lunch, MB Electrical, West Country Industrial Cleaning Equipment, first time on the live stream.
Okay, well, thank you very much for first time joining us. Cheers.
We'll try our others.
No idea.
No, don't know.
I need more clues.
Sparky 400T, Mikhail Erhan, Four Adventurers, Keir Davies, Jeremy Matuba, Matthew Boland, codename Enamel, Daddy B, Craig Harvey. Is that Craig Harvey?
Craig Harvey? Craig, do we know?
UK Bully Life, everyone likes a bit of bully. Toby Simmons, Arthur Mills, thank you. Andrew Wright, James Kane, still home an email answer. And Alan Chan, CAI. Alfie Curran, Shahid Khan.
Shahid Khan. Now that sounds familiar for some reason. Why does that name sound familiar to me?
Your best, yours got a travel buddy.
I wish he was my best mate. When he said that is your best mate. Absolutely wish he was my best mate. Great bloke.
Ramsey Gaham, Brian Hewitt, I think we're repeating this, Andrew C. Larridge, Bricks to Go. Is that Bricks to Go? Is that Bricklayer?
Okay, I hope so.
Tom Bickerton, Storky Sparky, Paul Barry, Martin Nolan, The Bearded Spark.
Oh.
I think we're getting that. Stuart Bryant.
Okay.
If I've missed it, Sussex View. Yeah, there's a lot of people. Andrew White.
Okay.
Right, I think we're done. There's a lot of people on.
Thank you. So you've joined us, so thank you. So obviously you've got a little bit of a shout out, and this is normally where 5 people, 6 people drop. I think I've had my shout out, that's it. So we're going to carry on with the rest of the show, and we're going to try and obviously make it as entertaining as we can, and I'll put as many mistakes in for Nick as well, so that's fair, so I can level up with my mistakes. So we want those comments about BS7671. Yeah, what you'd like in, can you predict what's going in? We always like a good prediction. Would you like to give a prediction?
I think.
Go on then.
And I think there might be something to do with AFDDs in there.
Why? Hang on. Yeah, we've already mentioned it, but we've got some clues, haven't we? What clues have we had over the last month?
Well, it's a bit like when Blue Peter used to do a film. I'm taking you back here, Gary.
I don't even know what Blue Peter is.
Yeah.
You remember Shep the
Blue
dog?
Peter used to have an appeal, and there used to be like a thermometer at the back, and it was something like they're going to re-lead the church roof or something, and people were sending milk bottle tops.
They did.
Yeah, and lots of them.
Yeah, they did.
AFDDs have been turned up in this unit like milk bottle tops. They just come every week. Yeah.
But we think also there's a conspiracy because either they're winding us up or it's across the board. We've had 6 amp ones, 10 amp ones, 20 amp ones, 16 amp ones,
I've got a
32.
40.
You've got a 40. I'm seeing the 40.
Yeah.
So what does that suggest to you?
I think, well, I don't know. You just get that impression that there's going to be some
whiff.
fiction of there's a whiff of some AFDD changes coming in.
Yes.
And obviously people will kick off on that because they're not the cheapest items in the world.
Okay, yeah, and we're fair play with that. But within the backstory there, I've got a funny feeling that we're probably going to follow that up with a CPD, aren't we?
Yes.
Yeah, okay, CPD, Continued Professional Development, or as we like to call it when I go to colleges, a certificate with an hour's worth of effort that can be added to your portfolio. But if you're sparking, obviously it's added to that folder that you're going to show your NIC or NAPIT inspector to prove that you're continually keeping up with your industry. And we're going to do one on AFDDs, aren't we? Well, we're not, are we? We're not.
No, if there were in there.
Who's going to do it? Well, let's have a look up there. He's probably currently scripting it as we speak. He's up there. Is it, what's that one they always say looks like? Richard someone or other off there.
Osmond.
Richard Osmond.
Donny Osmond.
Yeah, Richard Osmond of the electrical industry.
My big brother.
Yes, yeah. So there'll be something coming along on that. And we've recently released a CPD as well. We've followed up our single-phase isolation to a 3-phase or a more advanced one.
Yeah, it's a bit like maths. There was maths and there was all of those people who did further maths.
Did
you do further maths, Joe?
He's thinking.
Yeah.
He's trying to play it down. Yeah. A smart answer.
So there's now safe isolation and there's now further safe isolation.
And again, how do I find the link to that?
just go at the know-how tab, and it will be below. It's actually listed in the featured one for this month is the further safe isolation.
And if you've signed up to our plugin on our website, you actually get 2 emails a month. One of them indicates the new CPDs that we've done as well, because I've just had my one from Eddy Current pop in as well.
Well, there you go.
So it knows when you open those emails.
I haven't seen your completion certificate yet, Gary.
I'm a bit behind on my CPD. Yeah, I've read a magazine, I'm all right.
Well, if you want, pass me the paper up and I'll sign it off for you with my left hand.
Yeah, and a different colour pen.
Yeah.
So again, make sure you put in the comments all the things about the 18th edition. We've got anything we can grab before we move to our next segment? We will come back to it.
Yeah, okay, so there's the favourite, surge protection.
Yes.
Nick Ramo thinks AFDD for rentals. What do we think? That could be one. So,
Yeah, I like the thinking there, but obviously because... Obviously, if you're renting that property, you'd want the maximum protection when you're not there. You're putting smoke detectors in, all the rest of it. I know to save the people that are in there, but obviously the property as well. No, that's a good shout. I like that one. What else?
What else? Oh,
You're scrolling through, not me. So I'll try and talk
AFDDs on all circuits. People spend a fortune on a new boiler. Why not a consumer?
Yeah.
Why not?
And we're going to get to that as well when we see. I've been on site, as well as being at a college, I've been on site. And it's just money sprayed on the wall. So when we see that, it's like you just look at it and you just go, I'm an electrician, and this is pound notes, and this is opportunity. And we're not talking about £7 LED downlights from Aurora. We're talking about proper kit now, is what we're talking about. So hopefully keep bringing your questions in on BS7671, things you expect to see, things you like to see, predictions about Amendment 2. And I'm sure next week we'll be following it up with some content once we know what it is.
Yeah, we'll be on it. I think we've got. Yeah, we're waiting for the post to turn up on Monday.
Yeah, we've only had myth and rumour so far, and we can't suggest that we know anything about it because we don't. So with that in mind then, Gordon, I think we should nip into where we think they're spraying money to the wall. So I'm going to bring this photograph in here, and I'd like to suggest that's money.
It is,
that's money.
That's, so that's a battery storage installation with that looks like a hybrid inverter to me.
It is a hybrid inverter, and we'll talk about that as well. So we've got, I think we've got about 11 kilowatts of DC storage down there, 2 battery banks, or is it 30? It's 13, 6.5 kilowatts each. And then we've got a couple of isolating switches. We've got a kilowatt hour meter there as well if you're doing the feed-in tariff. I don't know why you would, and we'll talk about that as well. And we've got a hybrid grow watt inverter. So hybrid meaning it works both ways, doesn't it?
It's a battery charger and an inverter, and it can do both simultaneously.
Yeah, and again, I've done a little video on it for the customer, and I said, look at all this on the wall here, and you have to do absolutely nothing. You don't have to touch it. Don't go near it, all the rest of it, and perhaps wipe your panels over.
What you got there, that is that prosumer installation, and that is that new section that's coming out.
It is.
A whole lot of...
38 pages, I think it is, something like that.
Yeah. And there's a course being launched. We learned when we were down at Future Build that the... who was it? Who was the... you have to be certain. MCS.
It is,
with
MCS.
the NRC are launching a course for energy storage, which is a posh word for battery.
Okay.
So it's going to be interesting, that, because obviously, you might have noticed, energy prices have gone up.
Very well. And look at that, for a beautiful roof. That's an in-roof solar PV system. So they've taken the tiles off. They've laid, obviously, a sort of a shell for them to sit in, and they've dropped them on, and that's the solar array. So that's a 6 kilowatt solar array, and that's that glow watt hybrid inverter. So DC comes into there. And from there, the DC goes into the batteries. From the batteries, it comes back and it's converted into AC and ends up in the consumer unit. And energy prices are rocketing, aren't they, young man?
Yeah, it's amazing the inquiries we've had on solar, battery. Yeah, you see people all over the place doing courses.
Yeah.
You just get money sprayed on the wall.
Yeah.
Forget AFDDs. That's
the real money. Yeah. And when I say money sprayed on the wall, I'm not talking about the literal cost of it, but let's be a bit sneaky about this. If something costs 15 grand to be on the wall and on the roof, I think there's a little bit in there for you, isn't there? A little bit of product.
Washers, I
mean, I think there's a few quid in it for you, isn't there?
Yeah.
You're not fitting that for 80 quid, are you?
No. And there's actually, when you dig into it, not that many people doing it as well.
No, and I've done a video where I'm on site. I don't know when we'll get this one out. This is on our other YouTube channel. So again, let's do a little cheap plug for our other YouTube channel. So we've diversified into effectively eFIXX Green Energy, and that's our YouTube channel there. So after this, is it in the link in the description as well, Gordon?
It is,
You've got a chance to nip across and obviously subscribe to that one. And we're trying to sort of break it out a bit. I mean, we'd like to talk to, effectively, through the YouTube channel, the people who want the kit. And sometimes we find that we don't want to offend our red audience, do we?
No, that's it. That's,
So, we've got that
yeah, we can do different type of content. And it's almost everybody who comes in here asks a question, oh, what do I do for heat pumps? What do I do for EV and battery storage? Well, we don't know yet. We're learning as much as other people.
But we built the house to find out. We were on site and we went out with Kieran from Cahill Electrical Services. What a great bloke. Spent a day with him. Believe it or not, that wall, let's just bring it back in. That was fitted in 3 hours. Okay. 3 hours, folks. I mean, you know, that's streamlining your business. The only thing slowing him up was me. Okay, and that's because I was recording him. Yeah, that's half a day's work.
Yeah. Managing you?
Yeah, well, we got on really well as well. I mean, I had a great time. I got alluded to he might be a bit nervous. He was better than me as always. You know, they come out and they rock it, don't they? It's another Aaron. It was. Yeah. If he was on the Aaron scale, he was right up there with Aaron.
I think you'll have to go for the roofing next. I think you're moving tiles.
I was the last person off the roof. There was a bungee. You know, one of them old bungees you used on the back of your car, you know, when you couldn't go down the tip, one of them bungees you hook on just to hold it down as a kid, and that bungee would go like that.
Right, yeah.
Oh, yeah. We had one bungee on that. So I've gone up the ladder, and I know as I'm going up, and I mean, I'm not great with these things. I'm looking at I've got one bungee on a metal pole. You go like that, you're off. Oh, I came down last. What do you think they took off when I came down? There was no bungee on the way down. I'm coming down like that. I was like proper nervous. I was coming down, yeah. One slide, whoosh, I was in the garden. Okay, we digress. Okay.
Yeah. Now, just one thing while you're there. Just picture that roof again.
The roof? Hang on, yeah, I'll bring the roof in. I've got loads of that roof.
Now I'm thinking a bit of the Yorkshire in me here.
Yorkshire, yeah.
Did the reseller tiles that it took off?
He kept a few for the client. I heard a lot of them when I was trying to record my video and listen out for the tinkling in the background of them hitting a skip. I don't know, yeah. Oh. I would have, yeah. I think it's a bit like in the current climate where you cut a bit of pipe out as a plumber, don't you? You put it in a bag. I think I'd have piled those tiles up.
Oh, well, that's good money in second-hand tiles.
Yep, there is, but not in broken ones. Yeah,
all right,
yeah, smashed ones. Perhaps I'd say if you're heavily into mosaics, you had a skip full of mosaics. Yeah, could have been in there. Remember doing them as a kid? Yeah, we're going to do a mosaic. Okay.
But anyway, I think, and the other interesting thing about that install is obviously there is, what do they call it? What do they?
I don't know.
The backup circuit, isn't it? When the power's gone off, you can operate an island mode.
Yes.
Which it definitely will be in that prosumer
and
installation bit, and there's some requirements for that as well. Yeah,
if we go back to that, in this system here, the twin socket bang in the middle, okay, that was the socket that went effectively with a complete power cut. That socket went live, and obviously we had the discussion, a brief discussion, different type of video it was, brief discussion that he could have taken some essential circuits. So imagine you had a chairlift. I used the chairlift as an example. In the event of a power cut, you'd still want that chairlift to operate. So of course that would go into one of the circuits. You're not far off, mate. You're not far off, eh, old stone face. When you get to that chairlift moment, okay. So of course that, and a couple of lighting circuits, and maybe a socket in the kitchen for maybe a freezer or something like that. Then one's going. Kind of the whole house. Remember, you're only
3 and a bit kilowatts.
3 kilowatts. It's 3 kilowatts. Oh well, I've not been reading. I've been living it.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you what. If it was you upstairs in that chairlift, that was just getting left. Gary's stuck upstairs. Good.
Yeah.
I'll plug the Wi-Fi in. Possibly put the telly on.
Yeah, you said the Wi-Fi. But if we were living together, we'd be the odd couple. So I'd be quite happy to be stuck in a room that you weren't in. Yeah. Can you imagine that? Yeah. I'm using your chairlift, Gordon. Yeah. Okay. Right, so let's have a look at the board then. So tell me what we're on next. Do the bit where you subtly look up. We've done...
Have we done your... We've done your on-site.
We haven't done the colleges.
I'm just checking. You mentioned colleges.
Yeah, but I haven't done colleges.
Where have you been this week?
Okay, thank you very much. Yeah, I've been out and I've been to St Albans this week.
Oh, right.
Yes,
local.
Yes, it was local. It was only an hour or so down the road. Went down to see Neil and the great team at Oaklands College. Okay, so I've got some photographs.
You were there with your mate Shahid?
I wish he was my mate.
Yep.
I wish you genuinely, if he's watching, he texted me this morning about 6:05, and I was on it. I was like, I'm up, Shahid. I'm on it. He's texted me twice tonight.
Yeah.
We haven't got back to the answer because remember I told you the 2 questions he asked me.
And he said, Gary, I'm not your mate.
Yeah, so here we go. We've got somebody who's ultra famous with me here, and it's not on the left-hand side, which is Neil, bang in the middle. Who's that?
That's not 7-Up Sam.
That is 7-Up Sam. And nobody in her staff room knew that she was 7-Up Sam from Instagram until I arrived. So everybody, the students know.
She's been incognito?
I don't know which part of Italy she went for a holiday, but if you say she went to incognito, that's fine. That sounds like a warm place. And there we go. We're with some of the learners here. These are apprentices, am I looking in? Yeah, they are first year apprentices, so we had some time with the first year apprentices in the workshop. We had some full-time learners later on. These are level 1 full-time learners, and you see they're all wearing our EDDY current hats that they got given, which is fantastic. You see a BG board there with the QR code in the background as well. There's loads of them. This student here wanted a photo with me and Shahid, which we thought was great. So he had a photograph.
He probably wanted a photograph with Shahid, really.
Probably. I sort of photo bombed it, and you notice that we've left an eFIXX board there that takes you to our CPDs. And then I bumped into this fella. So nobody on the live stream will know who that is. That's Rotashore. So I spent some time with big YouTuber there, so I spent some time with him. We also bumped into KSI, not the college, this is in my private life. Yeah, some college this is.
I didn't realise KSI was at Oakland's college.
He wasn't. What a great bloke. I've got a good story about him. We might save that for the plug and socket. And there's some more of the SIDEMEN, which I spent my weekend with. So I've been, from the weekend, I've met the SIDEMEN, okay, which was pretty exciting. I've been down to Oakland's college and saw old building. So you get there, it used to be, I think, a cattle shed. So you can imagine it, corrugated roof and all the rest of it. And they're trying really hard down there. Really good, great experience, really good. Really enjoyed myself. Shahid and me had a great time. We're off, however, to Leeds College of Building on Monday. So we'll cut and repeat that again. We're going to do some stuff on the 18th edition, because you tell me it's Amendment.
Change, Amendment 2.
On Monday.
You'll be answering all the questions.
And any questions for the SIDEMEN? Anyone, wait for the collab video. I've done a little video, me and KSI and Rotashore do a bit of a challenge for the SIDEMEN. That's what happened there. It's all good. Most of our viewers won't. Shahid show his daughters it, and one of them realised it was KSI. So obviously Shahid hadn't got a clue of it was he?
I'm with you, Shahid. Haven't got a clue.
Yeah, you old people.
Yeah.
Hey, Stoneface? Yeah.
Too busy.
Too
busy.
Too busy to hang out with Rotashore like I was. Yeah. Fantastic. Oh, and I'll do that story in the plug and socket if you want to know about what they're like as people, because, it's a good little story. Yeah. Okay, so that takes us up to our first asset, I think you'll find.
Well, I think
So, hang on, I'm over to Regulation Corner. Go on then, Joe, off your kick. It's live. We're doing Regulation Corner live. Just break into it. He's not going to do his Regulation Corner. We haven't got a live one, but we are going to go live to Joe this evening. No, he's got some ornaments on the old desk there. I wonder what they're all about.
We'll be going back to them later on.
Yes, we will be. So let's find out what Joe's been up to when we go over to Regulation Corner.
Oh, hello. I didn't see you there. Welcome to Regulation Corner. Take a seat, get comfortable, maybe pour yourself a drink. Really, I should say welcome to the last ever Regulation Corner. It feels like significant milestones are coming fast and frequently now as the world turns, and we, its humble passengers, need to accept that all good things will come to an end. Take, for instance, Amendment 1 to the 18th edition of BS7671. The time has come to wish it a fond farewell as we turn our faces to the sunlit uplands of Amendment 2. To commemorate the passing of Amendment 1 and celebrate the arrival of its successor, SCARME have sent me this rather delightful box of what I can only presume from the pristine and stylish packaging is a magnum of the finest quality champagne from the prosumer vineyards. I am really looking forward to this. Well, you know, they say industrial socket outlets are the champagne of electrical accessories, so no worries. That is some exquisite packaging though, don't you agree? Those Italians really do know how to style things. Funnily enough, that's got me thinking about a regulation that is not always what it seems either. It's in chapter 54, which deals with earthing arrangements and protective conductors. Perhaps you find it strange that this section be connected to sockets, if you'll pardon the pun, but right there in regulation 543.7.1.202 we read, equipment having a protective conductor current exceeding 10 milliamps shall be connected to the supply by one of the following methods. We'll just read the second one. A flexible cable with a plug and socket outlet complying with BSEN 60309-2, provided that either A. The protective conductor of the associated flexible cable is of a cross-sectional area not less than 2.5 millimeters squared for plugs rated at 16 amps and not less than 4 millimeters squared for plugs rated above 16 amps. Or B. The protective conductor of the associated flexible cable is of a cross-sectional area not less than that of the line conductor. And so regulation, which appears to be about earthing arrangements and protective conductors, takes an unexpected twist and becomes about socket outlets. Similarly, life can take twists and turns as we navigate its treacherous waters, and as we stare into the dying embers of the First Amendment to the 18th edition of BS7671, maybe we feel a chill at the thought of the darkness we're about to enter as we lay one set of regulations to rest. And maybe we wonder, will such illuminating passages as the one that we've just read continue to educate and delight us in equal measure? Well, like the mythical phoenix rising anew from the ashes of its predecessor, we will see new light, a new hope, a new bright shining beacon of information and guidance that shows the way to compliant installations, namely the Second Amendment to the 18th edition of BS7671. What hidden treasures will we find buried between its muddy and deceptively uninspiring pages? We await with bated breath to find out. But just as electrical packaging, regulations and life can cause misunderstandings, so too can introductions to content. At the start of this video I said that this was the last ever regulation corner. Of course, I meant the last ever regulation corner, based on the First Amendment of the 18th edition. Just like the Second Amendment, there's plenty more to come. But you know, I won't keep you any longer. Thanks for stopping by, and the next time you're passing, drop in, say hello. You know there's always a place for you here at Regulation Corner. Good night. Well, no matter how many videos that I make and put on YouTube, I still absolutely hate watching myself back. So thank you very much if you stayed on through that. It's much appreciated. I've been given the joyful task of introducing myself following that segment because we've only got so many microphones that we're kind of juggling around between us all now. Gary's off to the left and he's going to be doing his very best to put me off. I've been given my own live segment to do, which is really exciting. And I'm sure after the next 5 minutes, I won't be ever doing another live section again, because no doubt I'm going to fluff this up pretty badly. To my right, I've got the wonderful Joe too, as you may know him. Joe won't be doing any talking apparently, so that's fine. So what I'm here to do is to talk to you very briefly about the eFIXX Awards. This is a new initiative that we've launched this year, and we are absolutely thrilled to be able to give out two broad categories of awards. The first being the 30 Under 30 Award. Now, unfortunately, I just don't qualify for this anymore. I just slipped outside the 30 category this year, unfortunately, so I won't be getting one of these. This is going to the 30 people who are under the age of 30 in the industry that we think are contributing something special, creating something special, or working really hard to make the industry a better place. And the announcements of these awards will be given out a week tomorrow, so that's really, really exciting. Make sure that you watch out for that. We'll be doing a premiere of our awards video, so stay tuned for that next week. We'll enjoy that very much. I have just noticed though that this one just has winner's name on it because this is a prototype, so that might be getting my name carved into it and going home and sitting on my shelf, I think, so we'll see about that. So we're not going to read out the short list of people who are in that category because obviously it's pretty vast. We had hundreds of entries for that, so we won't be able to do all of those. But what we are going to look at is the other broad category of awards, and that is these awards here. There's a number of different categories that we're going to go through right now, and we're going to announce the shortlisted winners, which is really, sorry, not the shortlisted winners, the shortlisted nominees. Very careful about that. I was about to get us into all kinds of legal trouble there. Had to go and create another 15 of these plaques to give out. Very good. So the categories are as follows. So the first category was for EV Charging Installer of the Year Award, and that's in association with EV Comply, who are really helping us out with that, which is great. And the three finalists for that company, for that award rather, are Jolt, NSN EV and Green Electrical. So if you're watching from any one of those companies, you made the shortlist, and we'll announce the winner of that a week tomorrow. So that's going to be very exciting. We've then got the Smart Home Installer of the Year Award, and that's in association with Ring. And we had another three finalists for that one: Derek Burnside, Hull Power, and Neo Electrical Solutions. And it'll be interesting because if Neo win that one, then I'll get to do my impression of Agent Smith off The Matrix, which will be really good. Warning, Mr. Anderson. That'll be pretty good. Very good. So we've then got the shortlisted entries for the Commercial and Industrial Installer of the Year award, and that's in association with Deligo. And there were 3 finalists for this one. Very, very different businesses. These were very difficult when we were doing the judging process to kind of compare and contrast these ones. So the 3 finalists were Onco Specialised Electrical Services, Theo Webster Electrical Services, and Encon Maintain, who are an enormous company. So that was quite an interesting one to try and debate. Renewables Installer of the Year award, and this is in association with SunSync, and I think it's fair to say that this award was the most hotly debated one between the judges when we were talking about this. This was a real battle to finalise this one, because they were all just brilliant, and it's interesting who we think are going to win this one. So we've got Oval Renewables, Cato Electrical Services, and Cahill Renewables. So those are the 3 finalists for that category. Then we've got the Lighting Installer of the Year award. That's in association with Digital Illumination Interface Alliance. Try saying that one quickly. And we had just the best entrance for this one from Peter James White Electrical. He sent us an essay as to why he should win, comparing himself to ancient Greek gods, which was it was spectacular in its verbosity. It was almost worthy of a regulation corner, that one. It was pretty impressive. Other nominees for that one, finalists, were PowerCore and TCE Electrical. So we'll see who comes out on top out of that one. And then we've got the Data and Security Installer of the Year award in association with Penn Elcom. And the 3 finalists in that category were Chile Electrical, West Country Tech, and Lynx Wi-Fi Solutions. West Country Tech were fascinating. We really enjoyed looking at their stuff. They do CCTV for cows, which is pretty bonkers. If you get a chance to look them up, they're worth a look. Electrical Marketing Business of the Year award. Some really interesting entrants here, and there were 3 finalists in that category: West Country Tech, Hull Power, and Home Rewire. So those are the 3 finalists in that category for marketing. It's an interesting entry, that one. We've discovered in our sort of travels over the last few years that perhaps electricians aren't the best at marketing on the planet, so it'll be interesting to see how those businesses have bucked that trend, and no doubt pick up some tips for your own business as well. And then finally, the shortlisted entries for the College of the Year award in association with Mettrell were Lincoln College, Waltham Forest College, and Riverside College. So it'll be interesting to see who wins out of those 3. So that's my live segment done. I think I've done a bad enough job that I won't be invited back, which is a huge relief, because this is enormously stressful. Gary and Gordon make this look really easy, even when they're making the odd mistake, which you know, we all just gloss over, we know. So what we're going to do now is we're going to hand back over to Gordon, and he's going to continue while I pass out for a moment.
That's a full Ramo.
Well, thanks for that, Joe. I didn't think you did that bad. You can stay up there forever. That's especially if there's a stair lift that doesn't have battery backup. And yes, again, tune in for the awards next Thursday at 7 p.m. And XM will be announcing the 30 under 30, and a lot of people are waiting for the results of that, and it'll be great. But now it is time for the Electricians Challenge. Now, this week we've got another special event, because it is 2 trainee electricians taking on each other from a local college. Now, if anyone's realised, we have already someone from this college in Keighley on there in the shape of a Richard Gaunt.
I'm back to saviour. I'm back to saviour.
He was one of the first people to do it.
Gordon's really want to say is it's time for the GT time, is what he was going to say, because that was his segment. Oh, we're going to need to get him in early. Come on, get the GT times in before you start doing all that.
That's who's doing it tonight.
Forgotten.
I didn't forget.
He'd forgotten. GT time. Come on, Gordon. Talk about your GT time. What can we win?
I'm getting there. So there's 2 learners who are taking on the challenge to know who will and what time will they get. So it's a bit of a head-to-head. So your mission now is, what time will they actually achieve in that? In minutes and seconds. If you put that in, we'll send you a box of various sockets, accessories. You can use them for other things, Gary, including what?
Yeah. It's a prize worth winning. Everyone wants to win these because they're brilliant. If you ever get a wobbly leg, and we've seen plumbers use them for packing, we've used them ourselves for packing. You can also use them, I think, on plastered walls, can't you? So if you wanted to, say, skim up to a box, they make a really clean edge. But I think actually as packing, That's the way forward. Okay, are they winging anything else for the GT time?
I'll see what we can find.
Oh, right, you can put something secretively in the box
fine,
as well.
We'll see what we can get. But it's, yes, so put your time in minutes and seconds. Will it be fast? Will it be slow? Will it be above Richard Gaunt? Will it be above Aaron? And we'll see how we go. So the times are coming in. Ooh, they're already in with some fast times. Yeah, they're flooding in now.
Okay, brilliant. So keep those times coming in. So joking aside, we love the Sockets products. He's got a great range of stuff, and we're a massive fan of Richard Brooks, just as a personality and as well as an ambassador in our electrical industry. He sent stuff to colleges before on my behalf and all kinds of great stuff. So we'll do a box full of sockets, different items that he's got in his range. And we will also throw something in, a little sweet treat in there as well. But you've got to be the closest time. How many guesses can you have, Gordon?
You only get one guess, and yeah, you can't trade up as it goes on or trade down. It's your first time we'll take, and it's the first person to be closest to the time in minutes and seconds, and they're all there. Looks at the minute like they're all thinking it's going to be fast. Bear in mind these are trainees still at college. Well, could be interesting.
Well, we'll see. Remember, though, they get 3 goes. They get a chance to get practice. And it's a head-to-head, though, isn't it?
It is a
So this is a double header. So we had a double header with Matt and Marcus. And I think when I look at the board, they were 2nd and 4th. Is that right?
Yeah, well, I'll have to check where Craig Gifford is, because he's having a guess. Hashtag secret millionaire. He's still, yeah, we'll have to refresh that time, because there's been a lot of movement.
Yes, there has. But I think the rate we're going, I think the next people that go on that board might have to create a new board, won't we? We're going to have it. But as always,
move along the floor.
Mark's a lovely bloke. We'll leave him out of it. Who would you like to be above?
Well, above Aaron.
Absolutely above Aaron. So do you believe that Ash, a trainee electrician from the local college, can be above Ash? Well, let's find out by nipping across to this week's Electricians Challenge. And I'd just like to say for the record, I'm not 100% certain there's any commentary on it. So let's hope we have got some commentary.
It's time for another Electricians Challenge. Now, today we've got an absolute treat because it's a triple challenge. It's 2 learners from college who also know one of the other learners who's already on our challenge board. It's my pleasure to introduce Ash Steele and Sophie Lister. Well, we lured you along here to try our challenge wall because, well, actually it was Richard, wasn't it?
It was.
It was Richard Gaunt. So if anyone's watched the channel before, you'll say, ooh, sometime last year we had Richard Gaunt who's retraining to be an electrician on, and sometimes we need to coax some more people in. So Richard did us a favour and got Sophie and Ash to come along. So you're retraining as electricians?
Yep.
Both of you. So Sophie, what do you do at the moment?
Landscape gardening.
Landscape, that's a bit of a transition. Why do you want to move from landscape garden to electrician?
Too cold and wet.
That's a fair point, isn't it? So, and Ash?
Car valeting.
Right, and so why do you want to move from
Same reason as Sophie. Cold and bloody wet.
So it appears everyone's gone soft and thinks you electricians work inside. So yeah, don't get a job on street lighting. It's all outside. So how's that going? College? You enjoying college?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah? Yeah, don't need to look so nervous. Yeah, and you obviously, yeah, so you do know Richard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, what's Richard like at college?
He's quiet and placid, just wants to get on with it.
Yeah, fast, would you say? Is it with his work?
Well, steady away, I'd say, steady.
Yeah, well, we're going to see how we got on versus Richard. So we've also got a challenge. Who do you think is going to be fastest between the two of you?
I honestly don't know. I mean, I'd like to say me, but
Yeah,
you just don't know.
we like ambition, and that's what it is. So let's. Well, who's going to go? Well, we'll see. We'll see first how you got on with the electrician's challenge.
Right, I have it on good authority that Ash is the kind of person that can miss a week at college, be leading at practical, have a 3-hour session where he doesn't turn up, so falls behind, and by the end of the next time he turns up at college, he's leading the group again.
Competitive is what we normally say. Well, will it be ashes to ashes on this one?
Okay, or will Rick's time be dust to dust as he's trying to get in around the 6 minutes to be the fastest learner on the leaderboard?
All right, well, that's a good start. We've got the screws held in the right place. Now, obviously, we have seen contestants put them in their mouth before.
Yeah, Shahid did the entire 3 runs with the screws in his mouth. We never mentioned it because obviously we mentioned it there in commentary, but Ash has done the right thing and just dropped them on top of the socket outlet. And I'd like to say, for the record, that's still the original one we started with from BG.
Still well, it has had a battering. Right, so is he probably right? Well, get the twist in.
Yeah, a little twist.
And a bit more twisting.
Shall we do some twisting?
I'll just do a little bit more twisting.
So nothing like a bit of twisting.
Just keep twisting.
I would say
That's
twisting.
it. So
Yeah,
we've,
so it's a race, remember.
Yeah, just relax into it. Now
Yeah.
you've done your twisting, just take your time now, straighten. Yeah, a bit of real trouble there. we've got a bit of real trouble.
Wow. Has he realised this is a race?
I don't know, it's just relaxing into it now.
Okay, here we go. So if it goes up first time, you save loads of time. So let's see if he gets it up first time.
Slowly,
Come on. Yeah.
slowly does it. It's through.
Hey!
It's
Yes,
through.
that has actually saved time. Okay, that twisting was good. Round Lasico bend.
Yeah, watch out for Sparky
Luden.
Luden.
Okay, and
Just
then
another retwist.
bit more twisting.
Just a little twist and cheeky little bend there to get it through. That was good. Got it through in a one.
Bit of good editing actually. There was a lot of fumbling around there, I'm afraid. So we're in with our 5-in-1s. And you watch this. When you've got some decent kit, which you won't get at a college unless you bring it in yourself, 5-in-1s, 3 ends, off.
Oh wow.
Yes.
Yeah, they are good. They are really good.
So 3 connections, 1 into the earth bar and then 2 into the top of an AFDD under Amendment 2, would you say, Gordon?
We'll see.
We'll see. We'll have to wait to find out.
Yeah.
We may have to upgrade our consumer unit for all those lighting circuits to be protected by AFDDs.
Looking at Ash's head there reminds me of springtime and the farmers are out ploughing their fields.
Right, okay, looks like he's pulled a couple of potatoes from behind those ears, doesn't it?
So he's getting stuck into that there. No need for a torque screwdriver on these.
Okay, so just the connections in the socket. Got that fly lead to make off, often missed, isn't it? So,
well, if you've made one, you might as well make another one.
Okay,
So.
do you think Amendment 2 saying always remember 2 fly leads?
Well, that one's perhaps just a little bit too short. So at least he's learned.
But just look, I mean, you know, if you're training and you haven't got a set of these, you need to rethink your life choices, don't you? Look at that, all ends ready.
I'm surprised you didn't give him a knife, Gary. House tools.
I wouldn't do that.
So I would
would
suggest the screwdriver you've given for the house tools.
What's going on?
We've got a socket in the mouth, like a dog with a bone.
Oh my!
That's a first.
I'm almost lost for words. That is an absolute. I think I said earlier on that Shy had put 2 very small screws in his mouth. Ash has got the entire socket outlet in there. The moistness of that socket outlet may be enough moistness to cause an arc to disconnect the device that's protecting it, would you suggest?
Oh, yeah, I think that is a first for us there. Yeah, getting the whole socket in your mouth, that's an achievement.
It is, Ash. So, yeah, well, I think at college he's said to express his opinion. So I know people who express opinion tend to have rather large mouths, don't they? So maybe that's where the socket outlet slid in perfectly. So we're a few connections away from his time. Obviously, this is a time that he's got
a lot of cable to get in there. Scrapman's going to be happy again. Oh, let's get that cover on. Oh, fumbling it.
So will the time be faster, first of all, than Rick's? And obviously, this is a time that Sophie's going to be aiming for as well. Sophie will be in next week's, 2 weeks edition's time, won't she? So here we go. So 2 screws away from making those final connections. Oh, that's pretty rapid twisting, isn't it?
It's good. Oh, lost a screw.
Well, found it again. We're all right.
That's what I was looking for there.
All right, it looked like you were disinterested actually, for those people who spotted you just looking around somewhere. So that's good.
Well, actually, I must say, we always say on the channel, if it looks slow, it usually is. Yeah.
Oh, don't. I cocked up a few times. I don't know why I was panicking, whether it were you in my provisional vision that stood next to me, or I just I put the neutral in line, or whichever way it was, dropped the blooming screw for case, or oh no, I don't know, I just don't know what I've done.
Well, let's have a look. How did you get on? Look at the challenge board. So I'm looking across at the board. Where do you think you are?
Well, Mark's a lovely chap, so we'll rule him out. Got to be above Aaron.
Wow.
And Richard, well, come on, he's even got L plate there. I've got to be faster than that, but
Wow.
I don't know after them screws were dropped.
Well, Ash Steele, you did this in 5 minutes and 12 seconds.
Wow. Get in there. That'll do for me.
Yeah, that is an exceptional. I think that is the fastest learner on the board. But next time we'll see how Sophie gets on.
It's good. That was good. And poor old Hank, that was his best one. He was good, wasn't he? He got stuck in the tube, had a disaster. Everything else was really quick. He got up the tube quick and he connected the socket wrong. He couldn't. It was just he felt the pressure, I think. So it'll be interesting to see in a fortnight whether Sophie can keep up with him.
He had the socket in his mouth.
I didn't notice that.
Sure, he's not as did the comments. He's thinking he never lived the screws
down. He put the entire. We couldn't believe it, could we, at the time?
Yeah.
We went back through the footage, but we don't know how. When he picked it up, we got no physical. So we've gone. So you probably thought watching it, didn't you? It was 1 minute the socket was somewhere, next thing it was in his mouth. He picked it up he hid it from the camera, didn't he? It just appeared there in his mouth. We had to slow it down because we just couldn't believe our luck. It was a gift that kept on giving. And you did a ploughed field joke there that I didn't get, did you?
Yeah. He's got the wrinkles in his head. It's like a ploughed field.
So you mean his forehead, don't
Yeah.
you? See, I don't know. Have you heard that one before? I'd get to give you old stone face. Yeah, looks like yours has been chiselled out. Yeah. So this bit here, when it's wrinkled, that's a ploughed field. I thought you meant his hair.
No.
No. So I was looking at it and then thinking, I don't get how you get a ploughed field from his hair. Right. Aside, did we get anyone close?
We did. We got.
Okay. So
someone
hang on. So let's. How do we get this prize?
Yeah.
The
Just have to go
socket.
down the know-how.
Right. Okay. Well,
Give
explain
us a
what-
chance.
It's
It's
just-
just impatient tonight, isn't he? Yeah. Must be toilet time. Get rid of that. It's a bit old. He needs to go. Regular.
You're the one with the chair left.
So, no, you've got the chairlift.
No, you got the chairlift.
Everyone else on that house, when it came back, Wi-Fi, the first thing you thought was chairlift.
Yeah, because my mum's got one.
No, but that's not.
It's just my mum's got one. Because imagine my mum being stuck upstairs, you know, bless her, or couldn't get upstairs. You know, that chairlift goes on the battery.
That's not what you said at all.
Right, okay, explain to me how I can do the rest of it.
So just, if you are the lucky winner, just go to the Get Involved tab below. There'll be a link. I've won something. Tell us you've won the tab. Fill in the form, and we will send you out your prize.
So it's Sockets Plus.
Sockets Plus. We'll
Thank you,
find some,
Richard. Yeah,
interesting stuff.
Well, no, the sockets are good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know, they're great. We needed some shim near the workshop the other week. Richard needed some shim to get some timber straight in because he saw what the joiners used. So anyway,
He's
we
fab,
digress.
we're
So
hammering
the winner on that
Oh,
one
what was the time?
was, well, the winning time was 5:21.
What was the winning
closest time was 5:15, and that went to Sergio Fernandez.
Wow, is that a UK one or we don't
Well,
know?
we'll assume.
So we're
We'll
going to
find
send it
out.
wherever.
Yeah, we'll see what comes in.
Okay, so
I
somebody
think
did.
he's a regular commenter. I recognise the comments.
Okay, so wherever that is in the world, so hopefully it's somewhere like, I don't know, Kent, but we're going to send it wherever, so he can't lose his prize.
Yeah.
Okay, because we did get a request. Where was the request to send one out to if they won?
Kenya.
Kenya, right, okay, so we had a Kenyan request, so
Yeah.
we would have sent it to Kenya as well.
Well, we've sent stuff to Mark in Tenerife before.
There you go, so, okay, let's hope anyone can win now then, so I think we've gone international. And how many days will it take for that to arrive?
28 at least.
28 days. I've got one on my dashboard. I've got somebody a nice safe isolation kit. They said, can you send me one? I said, you do the CPD and I'll send you one. And it's 2 weeks so far. It's been on the dash of the van. But if I wanted a safe isolation kit, Gordon, how could I get one?
Well, if you're a college connection.
Yes.
That's the first thing. Oh, we actually put them on the Eddy Current store last week because a lot of people
Kept asking.
kept asking. So we put them on there. Yeah, are we making a problem? Probably not.
No, we're not.
Because by the time we post them, and they didn't reduce the VAT on them actually.
No, they didn't. So the safe isolation kits you've seen on social media and that, if for some reason you did want one now, unfortunately, we're going to save them. What's up?
Sergio Fernandez is in Watford.
Watford. That's a Ken. Yeah, that's like brilliant. Well done. Yeah.
Well, they've got Stadler and Waldorf up on the balcony there.
That's good. So I was really hoping it was going to say, is some sort of sun-drenched parts of, I don't know, Italy or somewhere like that, and you think, oh wow, we're sending it out to where we're going to Watford. Okay, brilliant. Okay, which is fine. But again, it was really on the Kenyan guy. We'd have sent it to him in feeder one as well. So yeah, fantastic. You got involved. Obviously, that tab's at the bottom, and also is the link to the Eddy Current shop.
It is. It's all down there.
Yeah, so again, if you did want one of them isolation kits, you want a hat, Eddy Current hats, we've got flasks, got all those sort of things. Got posters, got the shark poster on there, haven't we? Okay, yeah.
Turn that into a sticker.
Probably be better as a sticker. Yeah, I would suggest it would be better as a sticker. It's quite big and it's obviously bulky for us to post 28 days after obviously you've paid for it, so that's all good.
You can roll them up, can
you? can roll them up, yeah, and put them in tubes. Yeah,
it.
okay. Oh, he's on one today, isn't he? He's on one today. I'll stop talking, we'll see how this one goes.
Fine. Last week, me and Aaron, we had a great time. The views went through the roof. Oh, I tell you, he's there. He's just heckling from home.
It was as well when I was trying to tell you mics weren't working at the start. I was desperately messaging in and like, sorry, mics out, sorry, mics out, sorry, mics out.
So someone's asked, the Eddy Current store's in the link below. It's
Yeah.
it's where we put our merch and stuff that we think.
It's not merch. Let's not say merch. That's a
Merch,
bit,
Gary, down with the kids.
That's a bit above ourselves. No, we're
Well,
not.
you've been.
Well, I am. I mean, let's not put old Stoneface in that carry. I was out with the Sidemen for a whole day, and I'll tell you the story of the Sidemen if you stay on for the plug and socket. Interesting one, and I'll tell you what they said to me when I was talking to them about social media. So that was a nice little segment as well. We've also got two of Gary's swap shops. Let's bring my logo back in. Okay, so Gary's swap shop. You've got to send me, and you said send something old. Okay, so it reminds me of going to work. Okay, so they've got to send in an old fuse, haven't they?
Yeah.
Old
you
fuse.
go to work?
Yeah. Yeah.
What? Old reminds you going to work?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's not like looking in a mirror, is it? Yeah. Well, only if it's in the future. Okay, so we've got two people, and those two people are, Gordon?
Those two people are Rob Twist and Alan Chan.
Okay, so you haven't won anything. You can't go to the link in the description unless you're looking for the address of Lineside Studios, and it's, is it Unit 2B?
It is. It's in the description.
Yeah, it's in the description.
Yeah.
So you need to send us and your address in the envelope that you send it. So if you don't send me your address, I can't obviously send you the bundle that's down here. And believe it or not, we had nobody on the 2 weeks ago actually send in the items that we were expecting.
No, they sometimes do turn up
Yeah,
late.
so well, you can't be 28 days, only us. Try and get it done within the fortnight, really, so we can get it out and back to you. So if you send me an old fuse, we'll send you the bundle out as part of Gary's Swap Shop, but please send me your address as well so I know where you're going to. So that's the prizes.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're gonna, in a minute, thank everybody, and we'll slip into the plug and socket. But before we do that, are you happy with all the people you've thanked?
Just before the, obviously, people ask about the Electricians Challenge. If you do want to take the Electricians Challenge, just again go to the Get Involved tab below, and you can find a form. You can fill it in, and yeah, we'll try our best to get you there. We do work a few weeks, a few months in advance, depending on where we are. But I think there's a lot of people coming next week. Rumour.
We've got a rugby bus full of them, I think, haven't we?
Yeah,
Coming on Wednesday the 30th, I think, isn't it?
Yeah.
So hopefully JB and his mates are coming down. Maybe they're on tonight, maybe they're not.
No,
but
they are.
hopefully-
They're on. And the UK Spark. They're bringing underpants for you to sign, Gary. All
Brilliant.
sorts of stuff.
Okay.
So
Hopefully not warm and worn. Okay. We also think,
Gary
and
will
again,
buy them off you.
did I tell you that Craig Gifford's going to join us on that day?
Is he?
He's going to
Secret
come.
millionaire.
He's going to throw away another day's salary and a load of diesel in his van and drive up. What's happened the last
Flying up, I would have thought.
well, copter,
Yeah.
not plane. The what's happened to the last two times that we've seen Craig?
He ended up in hospital. Didn't
He did. He ended up very poorly both times. His wife says he can come as long as he gets back.
both times?
Yeah, he was rough both times, wasn't
Right.
he? Yeah, we put him in hospital one time.
he? Yeah.
Tell us what the other one was, Craig. I know he weren't well at all.
Yeah.
We didn't give him the lurgy that's been going around for the last couple of years, but he had something wrong with him, didn't he? Okay, so we'd like to thank the people that helped us, but unfortunately I've got slightly wrong. But we'll still mention, we'd like to thank the great people at Marshall Toughlex, okay, for supporting us both on the college connections. And I've got a wonderful display board that they allow me to put up in the colleges, which is Compent Martin. Can we edit that out? What's that? Trunking with compartments in it.
3-compartment trunk.
There you go, we'll go with that. 3-compartment trunking. Yeah, okay. So we got that. So that's great for segregation of band 1 and band 2 wiring systems. I used to use R1 in college. I had exactly the same one. We'd like to thank them for supporting the live stream. Without their support and the other people that support the live stream, we couldn't come to you every 2 weeks before we slip into the plug and socket. We'd also like to thank the great people at BG Lasico that have had an acquisition in the EV world, which we're going to talk about also in the plug and socket. We'd like to thank our friends at Wago, and we are going to Harrogate with Wago, aren't we, to a little show at some point.
No, we're going with We Have. Yeah.
Are we going with We Are?
Yeah. Because we're
do you-
aren't at the eFIXX show.
Are they not?
No.
Steve's going.
Yeah. So people have asked us, we going to Ali Pally? No, we're not going to Ali Pally next week. We are going to the Harrogate one.
I can't believe that. I
It's just
thought,
across-
brilliant. Yeah. Steve's a massive Liverpool fan, season ticket holder, got on really well with Steve, so that'd be great to catch up with him. And I can't remember who else we got to thank.
I don't know. Doncaster Cables.
Doncaster Cables would like to thank. Anyone else, or we've done them all?
Palazzoli, Wago, Lasico.
And Luden Palazzoli as well. It's nice to think that Gordon was listening in there. So all the people on the screen, along with Marshall Toughlex, that have been supporting us on this live stream, we'd like to give you a massive thanks for that support and allowing us to come live to you every 2 weeks, okay? So for those people who only want to stand for the main show, the rest of it's going to be taking some comments and delving into some of the subjects that obviously you've posed and what we're going to be talking about now, because we like to slip into something called
The plug and socket.
the plug and socket. Where's the plug and socket going to be, Gordon,
It's
in the
going to be
future?
upstairs in the gallery.
So it's going to be up there. That will be the area where soft drinks are served up there, okay? And there's,
again,
look at
aeroplanes.
little children, yes. Yes.
Is that what the tool guys? That's what you said. That's not bad.
That wasn't bad to get from there, wasn't it? Oh, you won't get it back though, will you? No. Okay.
No.
Okay, so we're going to slip into what we call the plug and socket now. So effectively, this is just it's just a little bit of chat and a ramble, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay.
What's
so
that trunking called again?
it's 3-compartmental trunk. I ain't saying that right, am I? I can't say it.
You know?
No. There's another word. I'm trying to think of the other word. When I used to teach, I had to get students to say it for me. What was that word, Joe, when I used to teach? I could never say a word. I can't. Well, there's loads of words Joe will say, but there was a certain word. Right, we're not going there. Okay, so we've got some subjects to go down. What would you want to start with? Do you want to start with my SIDEMEN stories, or do you want to start with something electrical?
Well, no, we'll start with something electrical.
Oh, right, okay, we'll go with that then. Just because you don't know who they are.
Well, I haven't got a clue who they are.
Ryan Davis knew who they were. He was straight on the comments on Instagram. Yes,
that's
me
it.
and Ryan,
So,
we're in there.
Yeah, there we go. But people like the paper aeroplanes.
Yeah, it's all good. So, yeah, BS7671 going to change. Okay, for me, I'll do what I do. So, when I taught, I was only interested in the changes that really affected me in teaching. So, I had some horrendous moments. We changed from red and black to blue and brown. Everybody, it was a little bit of uproar. Every single colour handout I ever had was toast. So, that was awful. But before that, they changed phase to line.
Yeah.
So of course that changed every handout that was colour. It was red and black with a P or phase on it.
Yeah.
So I had to change all of them to line.
Yeah.
And then they changed the colours to blue and brown. So the same handouts I'd already changed in my teaching career, they got toasted again, and I had to go again. So that's always a major change for me. And then what other things always bother me? Always look. So whenever I get a new change to the regulations, I go straight to the number of watts per lamp point in a property when you're working out the maximum demand. And can you remember what it is from your days?
It used to be 100 watts.
It still is.
Right.
And that's why I always go to it, because I always think, so as every ceiling rose and pendant you look at, it's 100 watts. Well, to start with, you can't buy a 100 watt lamp, and you haven't been for all eternity. Is that new news for you?
No.
Okay,
I do
all right,
know
okay.
these things.
So
we can buy them. Just a well-known online retailer that sold us heat lamps.
oh, yeah, good point. Okay.
The side effect, they give off heat.
And
the
so
side
they-
effect
they-
is actually have some light, visible light might come from them,
And they're quite bright.
and they're quite
Yeah,
bright.
they're good from that point of
Yeah.
view. So always look for that. What other things did you used to think for a change on the regs? And then, obviously easy ones like when I changed consumer units and all the rest of it to metal ones. That was a disaster for colleges, because obviously all our ones were plastic. And our CDs coming on every circuit, that was a disaster as well. But if they ever changed like the height of a socket outlet on a marina, I was always like, I'm not bothered. To start with, I can't remember what it is, and if it's changed, it won't affect me.
Depends how far the tides are.
Well, just that was it. So when regulations change, what are you interested in looking at first?
I'd be interested this one to see what's happening with RCDs. Will the AC one finally be kicked out?
Yeah, well, that's a tricky one, isn't it? So so you're talking resistive loads?
Yeah,
for AC
resistive
only?
loads, or it was written one of the or lamps with a filament, which brings you back to
Do your
100
heat
watt.
lamps from an online where
Yeah.
the retailer was next day delivery. Yeah, they give off light as well.
Yeah.
Yep. So yeah, that'd be interesting. So how would you code that? So you go into an installation, it's got AC RCDs, and let's say they've asked them, I don't know what they're going to do, but let's say they say they don't like them all of a sudden. Is that a C2? C3 recommended upgrade? That'd be interesting. I'm not good at, I do little things on those, and I always get it wrong. Yeah, always get it wrong. But I was looking at, can I say what book I was looking?
15?
No. What book that tells
the
you the code?
on-site guide?
No, the ones that tell you the codes.
The code breakers?
Codebreaker 3 is out soon.
Yeah, all right, there we go.
I'm looking forward to seeing any of the people that helped write that book. They'll be in the front of that book. Any names of people. And my good mate, Shahid, he's got his name in the front of the book.
Right.
He's got his name in front of that brown book that's coming out soon on Monday. But I've got, hopefully, fingers crossed, my name in the front of Codebreakers 3.
there you go.
I was in Codebreakers 2, so
Well, you should know
fingers
the
crossed.
answers to this.
No. I still have to look in the book. I always have to look in the book. So it'd be interesting, won't it? Yeah, you're going ACRCDs everywhere. Interesting. Yeah. Any others?
Yeah, AC. Well, the EV ones. I don't think there'll be any more changes in EV.
Really? Because of the amendment, the amendment one that came out. Because
I could make it more confusing.
effectively all their changes are actually happening in a different document, aren't they?
Yeah.
Because what changes are happening to EV this year?
Well, there's a law change.
Okay, tell me what the law change.
There's a law. Well, we're going to find out about that. I'm going to go and see Dr. Chris on that one.
Not Dr. Chris Horn.
Dr. Chris Hall.
Oh, we come back to see him.
You're going to see.
When did that happen?
Well, I'm trying to arrange these things.
Well, keep me out of the loop. I come down and interrupt you. You have a fit, and now all of a sudden I'm going off to see the great doctor. He is a clever bloke. I mean,
Yeah. So there's a
pressure.
law. Yeah, there is a change on that. It'll mean you can't. They're going to be come by default, so they can't charge in peak hours. So you're going to have to override that if you want to spend a lot of money charging your car.
Oh, right. I didn't know that one.
Yeah, so
did you say about a staggered start? Is that another thing?
Yeah, and a staggered start. So when obviously if you have got an EV, you tend to want to be charging at the off-peak hours.
Okay.
If you have a meter.
Okay, so
that will,
what's this off-peak tariff you talk about?
Economy 7.
Have you got one yet?
it's on the way.
Oh, for those people who've been following this saga, how long ago has this saga started?
Nearly a year ago.
Nearly a year ago. You had your economy. I don't know why you had it took out.
Because I wanted a smart meter.
I'll tell you what, your car runs on a lot cheaper electricity now you plug it into work, though, doesn't it?
Exactly.
It's free now. I suppose you want that meter back at all. So, yeah, okay, so that makes sense, does it? It's a bit like street lighting. All the street lights, you have the photocell on it or a staggered start. You don't want every street light to come on at the same time. They sort of just drift on, don't they?
When it goes to off-peak hours, I think there's going to be up to a 10-minute delay or random delay.
Right, random delay makes sense. So it's something don't all jolt on at the same minute E7 kicks in. Okay, so that's that. So regulations, any other changes people are thinking about?
What I was thinking about, let's have a think. People still on lighting here. Some 1,000-watt stage lamps, wow.
Yeah.
So,
well, hang on. So I've got one for you for lighting.
yep.
We've done some work with fluorescent tubes, haven't we?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so we've done a video, which is going to come out soon, and we've got some tubes over. It's whether you want me to get them, Gordy, or can, or it's whether you want to leave them over there.
Yeah.
The fluorescent tubes, you know, when we started banging them bad ones in, yeah, they were great, weren't they? Everybody put a nice fluorescent tube up. Yeah, it was good. That's a lot less energy. Yeah, lovely, big light, all the rest of it.
Yeah.
We've proved that wrong, haven't we?
Well, yeah, so we went down to a local hardware shop that still had managed to skip multiple generations of energy efficient technology, so they still had magnetic ballasted fluorescent lamps in.
So they're chokes.
Classic 58 watt, and the first mistake people make about a 58 watt lamp is, what doesn't it take?
58 watts.
Yeah, because obviously the gear losses can be at least 10 to 20% more, so
Yeah, well
it
over
can be up to 70 watts on a 50 watt tube. And actually, at today's energy prices, you know, we're talking, well, when we started the video, there were 25 pence a kilowatt hour. To run that tube for 10 hours a day, 6 days a week, is nearly £70 a year.
For the whole shop?
That's just for one tube.
For one tube. Well, let's say we had 10. What's the yearly price then?
Well, it'd be £700.
It will be, will it? Yeah. I thought you said 57.
No, it was the saving.
Right, okay,
Yeah.
sorry,
Oh,
apologise. Yeah, so again, and we managed to, how long did it take us to put effectively that saving in place?
Didn't take me very long at all.
No, because you didn't do it, but again.
Anyway, an hour.
An hour.
Gary spent an hour twisting the poor guy's ear about his influencer friends. Yeah.
No, he actually played football with Rick. That's why we took a lot longer. Rick was trying to reminisce when he played football. So, yeah, so again, I think the payback, what was the payback time? 2-3 months?
Yeah, a couple of months. So that video will come out, yeah. We replace old fluorescent tubes, 3-month payback, putting LED tubes in.
3-month payback.
Yeah, which is
incredible.
Yeah.
Absolutely
It's
incredible.
probably got shorter because we had our energy renewal too. It's gone from 25 pence to 32 pence.
Oh wow! So then that video was shot a week ago. That maths is already ruined. I think we did. Did we do 25 or 28? 25, did we?
Yeah.
Yeah. So already in the space of a week, that them numbers don't add up. It's an even better saving, isn't it?
Oh, yeah.
So payback's getting almost ridiculous, isn't it? So that was good. So that was when we were looking about energy, and we said, didn't we? We alluded to the fact that VAT's been dropped off solar and stuff like that. Will you see the benefit? Probably not. Will you? Okay, because I would imagine that will get absorbed into everything else. The same as the one they've done a fuel duty cut as well, haven't they? I think a 5p on that. But are we going to notice it?
Firing in. Obviously, yeah. People are saying T5 fluorescent lamps. Yeah, but they can no longer make them after 2023. That's it. Fluorescent tubes are finished.
Right.
All mercury lamps are gone. So
makes sense, doesn't it? Well, when we see what we did.
Yeah, but people say, I'll just carry on, keep replacing fluorescent tubes. 2023 won't have an option unless you've got a few big stack in the back of the van. We've got a few that we took out of that shop that are half expired.
Yeah, but we're keeping them because obviously we're not giving them to use them. We're giving them for laboratory style experiments. We're not retrofit. Yeah, so yeah, that was super interesting, wasn't it? That one. So anything on the regs that we got poking through there that people want to say? I see Pegasus was there and all sorts of stuff. What's Eddie got to say? Big long one. Unless it's not Eddie, my eyes are awful.
Put the limb in next to me.
Just bear with us. This is why it's the plug and socket. Normally we'd be having a fizzy beverage, so lemonade. I'll do like a Dr Pepper now. That sort of stuff. My wife's not on tonight. First time in a long time she's not on. She's working this evening. She's doing her parents' evening, so she's actually doing it, not being involved as being a parent. So Sophie then, who's going to do the race wall next time out in 2 weeks' time, she'll be the first able-bodied female to do it, won't she?
Yes, she will.
Yeah, so that'll be good. So, you know, again, we want people to get involved with the Electricians Challenge. Obviously got JB and the gang coming, but again...
He's a good one. Richard must be back from college. Obviously that crush and defeat he's had on the old challenge wall there.
I'll bet that down.
Where's Dr Electric these days?
Yeah, good question. I don't know on that one.
Vanished.
I saw a little bit on social media about him being somewhere and he mentioned some other bits and bats. So I put 2 and 2 together and got 11. I really ought to ring him. I've got his phone number. I should ring him. I could ring him live on the live. I rang Nick Bundy live from a classroom. Somebody said to me in the classroom, "Oh, I watch Nick Bundy." I said, "What if I rang him? Do you want to speak to him?" And they do all that. Well, no. So I rang him and Nick spoke to the whole class. What a top bloke. I did that once when I taught. Somebody said to me, "You know Dan from DSS Electrics?" I said, "Yes." So I rang him. I said, "Hello, Dan. You're right, mate." He said, "Speak to this lad." And he was brilliant.
What about the sidemen?
Sidemen, I could ring Rotoshaw if you want. Yeah, ring Rotoshaw. Let me tell you Sideman's story then.
Go on then.
Yeah.
Off we go.
So,
Do you think he's been wanting to tell us this story, Joe? Have you heard it already?
Me and Harry, me and my old mate Harry, me and obviously KSI. Yeah, okay. So it was good fun. We had a great time down there. First of all, why we were there, obviously because as part of the Great Ormond Street, they were attached to a foundation that makes wishes for children, and my daughter's wish was to meet the Sidemen. So I said there's a couple of stories, this is a semi-humorous one. So I said to all the Sidemen when I met them, I said, most people would give an arm and a leg up to meet you. And I said, my daughter only had to give up her right hand. And they all took that really well. They were like, oh, wow, I can't believe you said that. And I said to them all, I said, in conversations, I said, you know, when you started out as a younger person, filming yourself, often gaming or playing football or doing things like that, you probably never thought you'd get to here. And I'd really like to thank you for your time and your generosity. They gave away a lot of money on the day as well. I said, I bet you can't believe the journey's taken you to here, but thank you very much. And they all said, bar one person, and I love the one person that didn't say it as well. They said, we were very lucky because we were the first people to do it. So we were like early adopters. And I said, well, if you were rubbish and non-entertaining, you wouldn't have got here. So that's partly true, but also not true. I said to KSI, and fair play, and I love people like this, he turned around and said, in a nice way, so don't think it was a negative way, he said, I'd have always made it. And I was like, wow. My arm hairs went up. I was like, you get in there. He said, I'd have always made it. So it didn't matter what it was. Yeah. And they reckon he works harder than anyone else. He said he's having 2 fights this year if he can. They said he doesn't stop. So whereas the others will do their bits, go off and sort of blend into the background, he's like a machine. Yeah. And he always said, I would have made it. Well, yeah. I mean, I thought they were great. I thought that was just a great comment. And I said to him, he was first to arrive. He arrived early. KSI, so out of them all, KSI arrived early, and I was speaking to him. I said, Muhammad Ali used to stay in another room. So when people come to see Muhammad Ali, he'd be in another room because he couldn't be waiting for you as a reporter or someone coming to interview him. He had to turn up late, and he said it was so infuriating. He was sitting in another room, actually waiting for you to arrive to get it over and done with, but couldn't turn up on time. KSI turned up early. Yeah, well. So that was pretty cool. That's me. Sidemen story. So I would have always made it. Yeah. Brilliant. That's what you want to hear, isn't it? No luck involved, just hard work.
Hard work always gets you somewhere.
It does. Yeah.
That's a one. If an AFDD draws a few watts, domestic board is going to cost £100 a year to run.
Ooh, yeah, that was brought up by somebody else on another podcast saying that each of those LEDs were, let's say they were a watt each. And it's almost insignificant, isn't it? You know, charging units go down to a certain value, don't they, things like that. But as that price keeps escalating...
But it was a funny one, when we were measuring that fluorescent tube, we've got a little flappy thing with the crocodile clips. It's got a neon indicator in it. When that was on, it was showing half a watt. Yeah. So how much power does a neon indicator take? Which we'll have to find. It might be the error on our power meter, but it's normally pretty accurate.
Yeah. That's a good point. Oh, you start adding them up.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, the energy prices are awful, isn't it? They did it when I was driving on Monday down to... we both listen to a podcast, don't we? We listen to... EV News Daily. We do. And we didn't do our end, did we?
No.
We keep forgetting it, don't we? So we watch, Martin... Is it Martin Lee? Always gets
Martin Lee.
Yeah, Martin Lee from EV News Daily. Brilliant podcast. And when I was listening to that, in between skipping through to the next episode, listen to it 20 minutes, listen to the next one, the news came on and they've modelled fuel prices, I think for the year, and they reckon diesel could hit £3.
Yeah.
A litre. Wow. Double through from where we are now. That is phenomenal, isn't it? Absolutely phenomenal. Any questions on the 18th? I want some more 18th.
A lot on AFDDs and power consumption. We'll find out. We'll see if we can. We'll have a look. We've got a few now to try.
Yeah, do a few different. Yeah, it'd be interesting to see between them what they consume for power.
I don't think would it be a watt? But having said that, RCDs have got electronics in them. They should be taking a bit. We'll have to see. I would have thought if it falls under the it's technical, but Energy Use and Products Directive.
Yeah.
If it was a USB charger, they've got to be 0.2 watts when they're not doing anything.
Yeah, yeah, that's why we started.
But it's
off
whether
with
an AFTD is actually doing
into
anything.
that. Yeah,
So
anything.
we'll find out. It's a good question.
Yeah, imagine 10 of them when you were getting 20 watts. That'd be a bit of a.
Well, but then that brings in the thing about heat in the board from things using things, and all those people who start spacing things out, and like they need boards now that are like 3 foot long.
Yeah, I mean,
10-way.
When that first came out, I must admit I rebelled. Not online, I would never do that, and I never jump in on anyone. I don't see the point. If you can't be constructive and supportive, I don't know why you're commenting. I've experienced a lot of average comments in the last 6 years. But I saw that and people were spacing those apart, and I was like, well, hang on a minute. So all of a sudden, surely the manufacturers keep talking about type testing, don't they? Lined them all up next to each other. And then you start thinking about it, and I thought, hang on a minute. If load number one, if we do the old-fashioned, biggest breaker nearest the board, and we work our way down to small, there's lots of reasons why people think that's a good idea, etc. Bus spa and all the rest of it. But if breaker number one, say, an EV charger, 32 amps, on for 10 hours, breaker number two is 32 amps, it's on for 2 hours on Sunday for your lunch. That could be quite warm.
Yeah.
Wouldn't you rather go EV lighting circuit upstairs?
Yeah, I mean that's a more sensible way, but everyone just stacks them.
Yeah, so I was
Like,
like,
thinking it should be nearer the thicker
yeah,
copper at the bottom.
I mean, again, you'd like to think that they've allowed for every part of the bus bar to carry 100 amps, etc. But so yeah, you start thinking, hang on a minute. So if I went EV oven, electric shower, that one in the middle's snuggled in nicely, and your 2 hour Sunday lunch, your teenage child gets up at dinner time to come down for lunch, and your EV charger may or may not be on, we don't know in that, but again, yeah, that got me thinking, and I think that's where we sort of alluded to when we did our last round table, didn't we? We've got a round table coming out on tour.
Coming out when someone's mentioned that, obviously, it's back to one of those favourite, Callum Stevenson, one of those favourite, either it'll be legal to pull the main fuse.
It's going to be.
No, it's not. Whoa. Obviously, people.
Got breaking news from Gordon. 18th edition says pull main fuse.
People would like that.
Yeah,
but it's a big problem for the energy companies, and you'll find out why in that roundtable debate. Because we got in the guy who does the investigation when it goes wrong.
Yeah, and I called him. And I'm going to get his name.
Doctor.
No, that's what I'm going to say to you. I called him Rob. It was Rob, wasn't it?
It was Rob. Yeah.
It was Robert.
Robert Weller.
Weller, yeah, Rob Weller. And then he linked in with me on LinkedIn, and I never once called him Doctor. And I was like, wow. So, how would you like to be addressed? Would you like to be Robert or Rob? And he should have gone, it's Doctor. It's like, but yeah, forensic scientist. I mean, yeah.
Forensic investigator.
Or did I say scientist?
Yeah.
Or investigator? Did I say scientist?
Yeah.
Didn't it?
Yeah,
that's all right. I like that one.
So he basically, if ever there's a meter box fire, the great and the good will turn up, or the great and the not so good, depends on who caused it.
Can you just define who those people are?
Well, that will be the DNO.
And?
It will be the energy supplier who own the meter.
And
it will be, if there's been some electrical work done, it could be the electrician, or the electrician's insurer, and probably the household insurer as well.
Yeah.
And his job, basically, they'll gather up everything, and it's basically whose insurance is paying for the fire.
But it doesn't always end that well, does it?
What? No, obviously there's been a lot.
So if it doesn't end well, who else turns up?
If there's been a death as a result of the fire, the police come and everything will be very carefully taped up and taken away for full forensic investigation.
Yeah, and again, you got to invest the time. I think it's a 25-minute video I've put together there, and you got to invest some time in it. But nobody sets out when they leave home in the morning, do they, to end with a fire that could cause maybe loss of life and all the rest of it. But lots of people online seem to be doing lots of things that he suggested wasn't good ideas.
Yeah, and everyone's saying that. There's people coming out, we use Pedro. Yeah, everyone uses Pedro. But the problem is you loosen that fuse and you start messing around with the guy who always pulls the fuses. Isn't it?
Pablo and Pedro?
Yeah.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I sent you a great one on WhatsApp the other day, didn't I? Where he smuggled a two-way board in, the main fuse had been pulled, he'd rearranged all the tails.
Yeah, so the problem is, you go in there, you take the fuse out, you start moving the tails around. It's that moving the tails that causes the problem.
Yeah.
So it's that. So if you're going to remove that seal, what's happening at the meter end? That's the big one. And I think that we've already started to see it on EV installs. People go in there and do exactly what you said.
Yeah.
Take the fuse out, shuffle things around in the box, and obviously they don't know what's happened at the meter end.
No.
And then
they put a 32 amp sustainable 10-hour load on it, and it starts, he talks about cherrying of conductors, runaway and all kinds of great stuff. You have to invest when that video comes out. It's not one of those ones you watch the first 3 minutes of. I rip through people in the first 3 minutes, don't I? But you've got to stay on for the conclusion in that video. But again, it's worth investing the time. And again, I think you'd probably class that as CPD, couldn't you?
Yeah, it's a good, you've got to stay with it. But
yeah, you've got to stay with it.
And there's a follow-up video as well. And it's quite interesting. It's just as a sort of curiosity. Obviously tragic for obviously the people who houses are burned down. But there was an instance where someone had extended a shower with a chocolate block connector, and it was there for years. But it was only after the householder's son had a party, and there was people using the electric shower one after another, after an hour for a morning where it might have been on for 20 minutes. It was on for a couple of hours.
Let's wait there.
Yep.
You thought dropping a bottle of red wine was bad. What happened to that house?
It burned down. That was.
Nobody was injured, so I'm laughing because I know the end of the story. So you know you've had a great party when you come home and your house is a bag of charcoal.
Yeah.
I bet they took a drop of red wine, went down the floor.
Yeah, and they blamed the electrician.
Did they?
Yeah. That was his fault for using the chocolate box connector because there's less metal in things. It was fascinating and it was really interesting. I'd watch for that coming out. It's
really good. But again, it's a video for electricians, really, and it's invest the time to watch it and just think to yourself, I don't really want to be responsible for that. Yeah, because again, we talk about the blame game, don't we? We won't give you any more than that, but we do the blame game. Let's pass the blame round is what we do. So I'll make sure I structure who's at fault there. So that's good.
But anyway, you won't see any changes in BS7671 for that. We don't think. Anyway, that's because it's nothing to do with the wiring regulations.
No. Yeah, well, you say that. We have to put pen fault in case a cable that's nothing to do with us goes wrong.
Yep.
Is the AFDD protecting the circuit, or do you think the AFDD would protect maybe something that's plugged in, Gordon?
Well, I say it's mainly for things that are plugged in.
But that's not our responsibility either.
Well,
so hang on a second. So what you've just said there, and then we've got a pen fault protection on an EV in case the supply authority's cable goes
piggy in the middle.
Yeah, and then we've got an AFDD in case we plug a cheap freezer in from a second-hand shop that hasn't been tested.
You use the same thing for RCDs. They're there to protect people using the old hedge trimmer and the old lawnmower, isn't it?
They are. Yes.
That was where they started. If you remember, it was
remember the blue one? Yeah, but the old blue
plug with a thing in it. So.
Yeah.
So there we go.
Did you buy your gardener one?
No, he's got a.
He goes on. It's got a petrol one. Oh, it's big enough in it, I suppose. Yeah.
When he's the other side of the peacock enclosure.
It comes difficult, doesn't it? Yeah.
The volt drop.
I suppose so. Yeah. Just down by the menagerie. It's all good. Anything else that we want to pick up as we're going through? Is Eddie still on? I've got to speak to Eddie. I meant to ring him on the way up.
Eddie's on there.
Yeah.
Eddie's on there.
I'm not avoiding you, Eddie. I just haven't spoken to you for ages, mate.
Yeah. But there is, people saying on the fuse thing, there's supposed to be a new system that will make it super easy and all these people will be super responsive.
Yeah.
And we believe that, don't we? It's like I've only been waiting a year for that meter to be changed back out. So.
Which meter was that?
That my Economy 7 meter again.
You had it took out?
Yeah, I had it took out.
What did you do that for? You got an EV car?
Well, I thought I'd go smart meter and get one of these
agile
tariffs.
So you're on an agile tariff?
No, I'm on full rate.
Well, what did you do that for?
Well, because the smart meter didn't work.
I'd have left the Economy 7 one in. I'd have asked them to
put
it back in.
It's coming back.
Well, it ain't at the minute. You're charging it up here. That's a smart owner. That's called, isn't it? Yeah, my meter's it's costing me a fortune. Plug it to work.
It's coming back.
Eventually. Do you think you can use a granny? So when they come in and when your EV has to be smart, does that mean the end of the granny cable? Because the granny cable's not smart.
Yeah, they're going to stop selling them.
They're going to stop selling them?
Yeah.
Will you still be able to get them from a well-known online retailer that offers next day door?
There's a whole plethora of regulations in there that'll limit that. Yeah.
So you've got a granny cable. It's going to be like one end. I've got a granny cable.
Yeah.
It's going to be like that.
Listen.
Yeah.
Put this out.
If you've got a car, I've got a cable. Yeah. Yeah. It makes sense. So you can't make one of them smart, can you? Yeah. Interesting.
So we'll see on that. What else have we got there? So loads of nice. We could go on for weeks on that, but we did a whole live stream on that one. It hasn't changed. If we get an update, we will do. You're right. Some smart meters have isolators, don't they? There used to be ones with a little red tab, and not an isolator. It was it was a true isolator. You couldn't do it on load. It was an off.
No, I think it was offload. Hang on.
They were tiny. It was
they were tiny. Yeah. Joe's got one. You got one, Joe? Yeah. Has
it got a seal on it?
No,
Has it got a seal on it? No.
Not on that side.
no. It's on-
Joe's removed that seal.
Yeah.
So,
He's asked to take some of mine that I've got still left over from my days working for the electric. Yes, he said, can I have a few seals, Gary? A lot of people, look, when they find out I've got a few seals, it's like a bit of contraband, that is. It's like, can I have a few seals? No, you can't.
yeah. Split load boards. I think split load boards will stay.
Yeah, I do as well.
Yeah.
I do. I think we did a video on that. Joe did a video on that, did he?
Yeah, to explain why they're still, but I won't get rid of them, I don't think, because it's... the problem is regs start high up the chain, don't they? They start, the Sheed was done, they start in like, you know, Senilec, which is like sounds like industrial tourism, if you ask me. If you want to be, you know, if you've made it in the world, you're in Senilec, and you get to go to Brazil to talk about new wiring regulations that are going to happen in 10 years, and then eventually they sort of come through IEC, and then they end up at the door of the BSI, and it's right, there you go and deal with that one.
Yeah.
And the problem is, you got all those other countries. I think we're still, you know, you look around the world, and obviously we don't get that many pictures from the continent, Gary, or further afield.
My friends on the continent.
With circuit protection.
Are they screwing these consumers to the fabric of the building on the
They're
continent?
all on the fabric of the building, and sometimes that fabric is concrete.
That's not very
But you don't see many RCBOs.
No.
You'll still see an RCD and breakers hanging off it, and a lot of the time it's three-phase, so obviously that divides the number of circuits that can be affected unless it is a three-phase breaker.
Yeah, so yeah, but
Statement from Mark Allison there, split load boards will be gone 100%.
Yeah, right.
oh, right, okay, oh, good. That's what we want, Mark. We want that debate. So, Mark Allison, apprentice 1-to-1, he's giving away. I think, if I'm quite right, I've probably half read it. I read a lot of stuff. Doing some stuff for apprentices around the new regs as well. So, he's trying to cushion the blow for them. What a marvellous man. How he's got missed out of the Queen's honours list, I don't know. So, you can nominate anyone for an honour from the Queen. Yeah. So, make sure you get in and do Mark.
I'll tell you why. I don't think split load boards will be gone.
Go on, then. You tell me why.
Because can you get a time delay RCBO? Does anyone make a time delay RCBO? There you go. The room's gone silent.
Well, you can't get a 30 milliamp time delay one anyhow, can you?
Yeah.
Because that's not even a thing.
But
So it's
you've
100
got
milliamp. Yeah.
So you either have to have a board just with MCBs in, and then to feed sub-mains in a house. So say you've got that EV charger that's got the RCD in.
So your wing with your library and the swimming pool in, that's got its own three-phase board, hasn't it? So you're saying off the same supply, aren't you? Okay, yeah. That's to the left of the menagerie, though, isn't it? Okay. Where you keep your lawnmower, petrol one.
Yeah.
Sit on. We all want to sit on.
But there isn't, you know.
No, you're right. Yeah,
You just struggle to get 100 milliamp ones for TT stuff.
Yeah, them time delay ones. I can't remember when they were a thing, but yeah, seeing one, let alone anything else, it holds it at the top end of its curve, doesn't it? So you hold it to nearer the 300 milliseconds, etc., don't you? For a time delay, because when they first come out, you sort of flippantly go, oh, well, so how long does that take to work? Like 5 minutes? So I'll go in the end. So yeah, it's all good stuff. Anything else we've got coming through? How many people have we got on? Because I always like to ask this.
182. Loads
wow,
on.
that's the most we've ever had on. Thank you very much for everyone who stayed
coming
on
in from Ireland. In Ireland, it's still common to see non-RCD protected circuits for lighting. So.
Yeah, and again, when that came in, am I right? Have I missed that? That was all about because people could go down to their local Scandinavian shop and buy one and come home and fit it, and that's why they put an RCD on it. I thought, well, maybe you've already answered your own question there. But yeah, because everything's RCD now, isn't it? Really, in domestic.
Yeah. You've got to work hard, got to work
well, you start
really
with some you can't, and then you've got to work immensely hard or completely chop the wall. And we've done some stuff on that. Joe's a great video on how deep you can actually go into the brickwork. Again, another wonderful. Was that a Q&A, Joe, or was that in part of a CPD? I think it was a CPD, wasn't it? CPD. Yeah, that was in a CPD. Know-how tab, eFIXX.co.uk, yeah. Which one was it?
Oh, someone, JB Electrical. No one makes an MCB AFDD. I think they do, actually. I think Siemens make one. If you look in the German section.
Ah, so no RCD.
Yeah.
Oh, right, good question, no?
Yeah.
Yeah, so an MCB AFDD. Okay.
Yeah.
So why wouldn't you want the earth leakage protection as well?
Because obviously in the continent, Gary, they do things slightly
Fabric in the building. Yeah. How big's your menagerie? We're going around. Have you got an economy 7 metre? We're going around in circles here. Okay, yeah, so you reckon he can do one. How wide is it? Did you say Eaton?
One module. No.
Oh, no, one module, Eaton?
The Siemens one.
Before
they released the combined one over here with the RCD and the FDD and the MCB, in Germany they had They had an AFDD/MCB.
Oh, right, okay.
I'm pretty sure they did, so I'll have to check on that one. Hager's AFDD is a combo unit. It's a double unit. That's it. I mean, you think you put them in, and then allow a space between them. You're going to be. You might as well fit Eton ones with 3 modules. It's going to need a consumer unit the size of a small wardrobe.
However, our friends on the continent, they don't mind, do they? They have a couple of rails, don't they? A couple of dim rails, and they whack time clocks in there and all sorts. Everybody else is isolators, breakers, and the rest of it. Do you think we're a bit? I don't know.
Well, again, they make the house out of concrete, so the risk is.
Right. Okay. So you're putting it down to you think I'll burn the building down, do you? Is that
Well, why did we have metal ones? What happened? And as Dr. Rod said, someone certain manufacturers caused a lot of that problem.
Did he?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Did he name them?
Oh, off camera.
Oh right. Okay. I've edited that. I'm thinking if I left something in, I shouldn't have left it.
Yeah.
1 point. Yeah. I just like. Yeah. So. Okay, well, we know why. We wiggled a 25mm tail in a double pole switch, didn't we? And even we did it to right torque. I think it was 2.5. We did it in our separate torque video. Wiggled it, it came out, didn't it?
Yeah.
So are you suggesting when smart meters were installed that obviously they took out and they're pulling the tails around trying to dress them for themselves, and that pulling effect went up to where they sat in a consumer unit?
Yeah.
And are you saying that moving then caused a problem?
I think it was that and factory fitted bits. Because now you'll notice most consumers say you've got to tighten all the screws, including the ones that were fastened in the factory.
And somebody showed me an EV charger today that also said the same.
Right.
And there was a lot of terminations in there, wasn't there, Joe?
There was an awful lot, yeah.
Was it realistic to do them all?
Well, that's what the instructions said.
Yes.
I mean, that's going to take you a long time, and they all have different torque settings as well. It was a bit mad. I think that's something that might get addressed moving forward. I think I would suspect that will change in the future.
And it said because they could have loosened in transit. I said, well, don't move them around in a transit. It'd be the easiest thing. That was my answer. It's like, use a different vehicle. Okay.
Yeah.
So again, that caused a problem.
People say you can get time delay RCDs, but I haven't seen a time delay RCD.
CBO.
Yeah.
Okay, we know RCDs, because we did some teaching on those things. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I'm sure somebody will find one, which is great. We're not experts at everything.
I've had a quick look. I can't find one online.
Wow. Okay, thank you. That's we've got a bit of research going on there. That's
But
with
anyway,
level.
I'll still bet we'll still have split load boards next week.
Yeah. Okay, well, so the argument is it's slightly inconvenient, isn't it?
Yeah.
So half the circuits go off and half stay on. Then we go back to natural earth leakage current.
Yeah.
So we're only then got an RCCB that can only have, is it 30%, which is 9 milliamps, isn't it? Yeah, is that right? 9 milliamps from the original, I think that came in on, was that the 18th that came in on? So of course then you sort of, if you go in and do an EICA, you should be checking that, seeing what the natural earth leakage current is. And of course if you're approaching that number, obviously that's not as easy. When you have individual RCBOs, that problem's gone away. Obviously you've got the selectivity thing. But let's go back. So I've had in the past, okay, an RCD main switch and all my sockets, and that board's come out, and then they're full AFDDs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Including the blanks.
Including the blanks.
Yeah.
If inflation keeps going, I'm taking them out and putting metalwoods in and flogging them because they're going to go up and up in value. But in 15 years, okay, I haven't touched the wiring really in my house at all. I've just stuck with what I've got. I've added 1 or 2 things. We won't talk about those, but I don't get RCD trip at all.
Yeah.
So it's not as if it's happening every other week, is it? So if you end up having an RCCB, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. But people will say they're only £9 or whatever. I always think that's odd though, because you can get a socket for £1 back before inflation.
Yeah.
So by the time we finish this, that pound socket will be worth about £9 with inflation. It's going to go a bit like, you remember them countries where you had like a trillion
Someone
for
will bring
life
out a budget range, it'll be 50p.
Yeah, but we don't like fitting pound sockets, do we?
Well, some people do.
Do they?
We've been in new build houses where you go, wow.
But people will fit the board is the brain of the installation. You'd like to perhaps choose one that's got a bit of a longevity behind it, wouldn't you? You know, I don't know whether you want to be choosing one that was made yesterday.
Well, some people don't do it, and that's the problem. You'll fit whatever's,
available.
What's that? The classic one at the shelf at well-known distributors.
Go on.
With that offer click and collect service.
Yeah, click and
There's
collect.
always the Type AC RCDs.
Yeah, we're going to
Still
solve
in
that.
there.
Yeah, we're going to solve that problem.
Well,
hopefully,
we'll
won't
see.
we?
I think that'll be first.
So then you go. I've got an an RCC split load board with AC RCDs. I imagine you're missing everything, aren't you? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a tough one, isn't it? Because I don't know. I'm not out there doing it, so maybe that's maybe that's a thing. So, right. What else have we got? How many people have we got on, sir?
177.
Well, we can't stop just yet. Then any more questions? I'm going to bring out this little hand cam.
There's loads on that. I mean, we can have a full. I think we are doing a Q&A coming up on double pole RCBOs, aren't we? Because that's caused confusion.
We say double pole or switch neutral, or is that the debate?
Switch neutral.
Switch
No.
neutral.
It's for people who are that clause in the EV one that
Yeah.
if you've got.
Don't tell them the answer now.
I'll not tell the answer, but yeah, it's that some of those EV clauses that it should be a double pole RCBO, and some people struggle with that concept.
Some people or some manufacturers?
I think it was the wholesalers actually.
Oh, right. Okay. What you're telling me they're just selling you what they got on the shelf and just want to shift it?
Well, they're offering advice, and people are taking that advice and then
okay.
ended up in challenges.
Okay. In a challenging situation.
Stickers, stickers. We're going to have to run out of room for stickers.
What, sending us some?
No, not consumer units. We're going to need that space. for the stickers.
But they have alluded to that, haven't they? In the IET, they said there's going to be some changes to stickers.
Yeah.
So I presume the change is less, not changing them. Do you think, or have I got that wrong?
I don't know. I mean, stickers. It's like, do we really need the one that says "Don't test your RCD every quarter"?
I was like, which one's that? Yeah.
Well, the one everybody reads. But when was the last time you tested?
It's every 6 months, mate. They changed that a while ago.
No, I think some of them said sense.
Well, they still say a quarter. Yeah, but they're meant to be 6. So it's don't test them every 6 months now.
Yeah.
Is the new one. Right. Okay. Yeah. And that's massive as well, isn't it?
Yeah, because it's like a whole chapter.
Yeah.
On that one sticker.
Yeah. I agree. Okay, I agree with that one.
So okay, the colour codes ones.
What about danger? 2 sources of electricity. So we're going solar PV, we're going micro wind or whatever.
Stickers are everywhere.
Would you? Yeah, they are. Because when I saw it on Cahill, we had it classic. And again, because I'm not out there living it, so we've got these 2 very thin black cables that come through the soffit.
Yeah.
And he's clipped them up out the way. I mean, he's kept them out of the way everywhere. He's done a great job. And he's putting stickers on them. And he's putting these stickers on. It's like, danger, this cable, this is live when there's sunlight on the roof. And I'm like, yeah, that makes sense, doesn't it? Because I looked at them, I went, they look identical to the 2 ones from Sky. And he went, exactly.
Yeah.
And you're like, yeah.
And what you got there? 400 volts DC.
Yeah. And you can't cross the wires. We had a bit of a Ghostbusters moment, we did. So, of course, when he cuts them, because they're live.
Yes.
So he's working, the ends on the panel are live, but of course, he doesn't want to touch them because obviously a bit of a spark. So he cuts them at different lengths, but it's the old Ghostbusters. You never want to cross the streams. So we had that. We had a discussion about Ghostbusters 3. Anyone seen the new Batman? That was what we were going to try and do at the weekend. So me and Kieran, we had a debate about Batman. He rang his wife, and I think they've penciled in Batman for the weekend. Yeah, Ghostbusters reference. Yeah, so we did that. Yeah, and he even labelled them under the hybrid inverter. Yeah. Even there, those 2, that they're not like, they look like coax, don't they? So really interesting.
You read those MCS regulations, they put stickers everywhere.
Yeah, we had 2 by the board.
Yeah.
One saying PV array, and there was another one warning label down near the.
You've got to put one at the meter end.
Yeah, there were 2 at the meter when we did it. Yeah, the stickers everywhere. I mean, it was just full of stickers.
But then when we went to that house in Knaresborough, our smart home takeover, we couldn't even find the isolator for the solar panel. It took us a week. To find it.
Yeah, and you didn't know 2 sources of energy, did you?
You had to read the handwritten scrawl on the underneath the circuit breaker.
Do you know what the code for the alarm was?
Yeah, because it was written on the inside of it.
It's written on the lid, and the lid was down. It's like, in case you forget, here's the code. What's that one about? It was something ridiculous, like 4, 3, 2, 1 or something. I don't know what it was, but yeah, it was. That wasn't clever, was it? Yeah. No, so interesting times there, isn't it? So they're saying less labels, but solar PV says label everything.
Yeah.
So it'd be interesting if they take. What other ones would you take off? Would you take off 2 versions of BS7671 in a single phase installation? Because you don't have to cross. You know this, don't you, young man?
If someone's just put in the comments,
Got him.
If you can't work it out, you shouldn't be in there.
Yeah, well, Which is... However, I'd argue against that in the loft where you see 2 black ones that look like Sky coming through the soffit.
Yeah.
I'd rather see a label on them.
But they're, yeah. But if they don't, yeah.
Imagine rediverting them into a booster, trying to get it into your bedroom.
Yeah. But again, yeah.
Yeah, like you said, if you don't know what you're doing, you shouldn't be doing it.
But notice down in Park Erin,
Yep.
once they dropped into the house and they were contained in the fabric of the building, Gary, in between two sheets of
We were on the continent as well, we were in
plasterboard.
Wales, weren't we?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They were in conduit, metal conduit.
Right. What the strings were?
Yeah.
I didn't see that.
Yeah, well, I was taped.
Well, no, you were keeping the information to yourself.
I was paying close attention to the fabric of the building, Gary.
Well, I was trying to smooth Kieran, wasn't I? Trying to keep him on our side. You were just looking at the job and how they'd installed
Well,
it.
I was looking at how they taped up the joints on the plastic to keep the air tightness.
And we got some great photos of it. You
And
saw the conduits as well?
Yeah, the ones that came down to the battery.
Were they
which is in
labelled
the
as well?
kitchen. No, they weren't labelled.
Because they're in steel conduit.
Yeah, but it was still obviously first fix, and they're not going to obliterate it with stickers at that stage.
But you think, even though it was in the fabric of the building on the continent, they might put a sticker on it?
Oh, I don't know. That's it. So.
Interesting. So those sort of things, again, pitch in. What do you know, what we don't know, and you'll know more than I know. So, yeah, it was good. And I had to play a bit of a game with, obviously, Mr. Cahill when I was there. I said, oh, you ought to go for the awards. And that,
Yeah.
I said, and I sort of like pushed it off because I was like, if he asked me how he's got on, it was like, so I tried to throw him a bit of a red herring so he didn't get a sniff out of me whether he's won or not. But he now knows he's in the final three, which he didn't know when he was with me. So, I sent him on a merry dance, I did. Whether he cottoned onto it, I don't know. But you know what I'm like for the race wall. I did the same boomerang with him. So how many people have we got on, sir?
181.
It's gone up.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're in what we call the plug and sockets, where we just ramble on late into the evening. Gordon's looked at his watch twice for anyone who wants to note that he's.
No, I was
looked at his watch.
looking at my watch because I was doing when you were telling how long is this break going to take the trip.
Oh right, okay, 5 minutes.
Yeah.
So what else have we got in there? So dual boards. So interesting that Mark Allison's pinned it on that he reckons the dual board will go.
Yeah.
That'd be interesting. That's one
Has
of the
he
first
got a
things. Well, little whiff. Well, he should do. He's a well-connected man, isn't he, Mr. Allison? Anyone who doesn't know Mark Allison, he spent his time in COVID making a difference to apprentices, something very dear to the heart of the team at eFIXX. We're out doing our eFIXX college connections. Obviously, Mark's beavering away trying to help people that are maybe between jobs in apprentices, and doing an outstanding job, and a top bloke. But we missed him because he had the lurgy, didn't he? He was meant to come in and do the race wall, and he was going to take it.
I think he's avoided it. Yeah.
Avoided. Do you think he's just too famous for it now?
Yeah.
So we were hoping he was going to do father and son. What's his old boy's name?
Matthew.
Matthew. Yeah, him and Matthew were going to do it. They were going to take on father takes on son, weren't it? So hopefully he'll still come back.
We'll have to have a word with Matthew.
Yeah. I think he's a lot taller than his dad.
Well, there you go.
I'm not suggesting his dad's not very tall, because obviously I'm 6'4".
Yeah.
So there were some big students when I went down there. I don't know what they feed them nowadays. I mean, one lad, I said, how old are you? He said, I'm 16. He was like, wow, it was huge. Huge. Shall I talk about the SIDEMEN again?
Yeah, fire sealing boards. We've got loads of stuff. We could be around.
So again, someone's done a video on that. You don't need to fire seal the board. You don't.
No,
you
don't.
But people are punching it in the back of it and all the rest of it. There is nothing, I might be wrong because I'm only quoting the video, there's nothing in BS7671 you've got to do that.
No, there's clauses in the building regs depending on the what's happening on the other side of the wall.
What the fabric of the building looks like.
Yeah.
Yeah, so if you're onto timber.
If you're on a timber,
Yeah.
into an escape route behind the other side, the plasterboard, there's all sorts of, there's some...
But again, I've seen it where someone's brought cables down. It looks perfectly like brick to me. Yeah, and they're filling it up with sealant. I don't know. I think sometimes people do something really good on Instagram and then everyone thinks it's the right way forward, don't they? We saw somebody once put in, and again, it's not a wrong thing, but on an earth bonding clamp, they over-sleeved it with heat shrink, didn't they, on where the lug went on. Looked great.
Lots of people do that.
Yeah, it looked great, but then somebody was straight up, we don't need to do that. Well, they decided to do it. Well, they needed to do it on art. He thought quite rightly it looked lovely. It did look lovely, but you're slightly right, but just keep your opinion to yourself. Like, dive on you the minute you make a mistake. It's not good at all, is it?
On that bombshell, I think we're around. Okay, it's
we
quarter to 10.
Is it really? Oh, right. Wow, that's the longest. I apologise. Right, so we've got to do our ending. Okay, what's this? Well, the 173 people, how many have we got on?
Just quickly cut it back to Stadler and Waldorf.
Yeah, look at him. Got his coat on. Look, oh, Larry Lightweight. He's got his lovely awards. So, How many we got on at the end? So we're near the end.
170.
Thank you very much. We really genuinely appreciate this. We love doing it. Okay, we've obviously gone on for a record amount of time tonight, but we thank you for everyone that stayed on for us. The more communication we can have and the more things we pick up on you, the better. We're as excited as you, hopefully, that Amendment 2 is going to come out on Monday. We're obviously going to try and create some content once we know what it is, and we don't know what's happening, do we? We've not had a whiff or a sniff.
No.
We might be well connected, but certainly the people that are well connected haven't told us anything, which is the way we like it. And if we do a reaction to it, it'll be exactly the same as you do. We'll be getting the information exactly as you do at the same time. But of course, if it's anything to do with regulations, we'll obviously need the great Joe Robinson from Regulation Corner to be involved into that process. So hopefully next week, Joe will be able to feed back. I won't be able to do anything because I'm going to be at a college with my good mate, Shaheed.
Oh, well.
Yes, and I'm off to Leeds. So we'd like to say the following ending phrase, wouldn't we, that we keep missing out now?
Yes, just remember, there's no such thing as a calibrated arm.
No calibrated arm.